Herzlich willkommen zu unseren Mobility Talks. Heute mit der Sonderausgabe. Normalerweise ja immer am letzten Donnerstag im Monat, aber diesmal von der IAA. Wir stehen hier mittendrin auf der Messe, auf dem Webfleet-Stand und wir sind für Sie da und haben heute einen bunten Blumenstrauß an ganz, ganz vielen tollen Themen. Von EV über KI bis hin zur Videotelematik und Bosch ist zu Gast und wir werden Ihnen alles zeigen, was wir hier auf der Messe auch präsentieren. Also seien Sie gespannt, bleiben Sie dabei. Und ich freue mich, den Anfang machen zu dürfen mit einem ganz, ganz besonderen Gast. Bei mir zu Gast ist Taco van der Leij, Vice President Webfleet Europe, Bridgestone Mobility Solutions. Welcome, Taco.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've been around at the IAA, you had the chance to look at different booths and get the feeling of the IAA already. What are your first impressions about the IAA this year?
Yeah, so actually it's already my 6th time at the IAA. And you know, as Webfleet, we are 25 years already partners in the logistics and trucks industry. So it's always good to see what's actually happening, what are the new trends and where's the industry going. And I have to admit, that maybe every year it gets actually getting more and more impressive on the changes that we see. So just looking at our perspective, Webfleet 25 years ago, we actually changed, I would say, how fleet management done is through the internet. So actually using a web interface, 1999, imagine, before all the changes that were there in the industry. So if I now look at what's happening, there's a lot of changes also happening. We actually did some of those changes. So we introduced, for example, driver terminals for fleet management as one of the first. I think that was a big change. We introduced dashboards. So we also this year come with new changes. I will come back on that later. So what we see around, I think, is maybe the most intensive way of actually expressing where the industry is going. And it has to do with electric vehicles. So the decarbonization is typically a key topic this year that we see at the IAA. You see it in the trucks, you see it in a lot of engines, engine designs. It's not just EV, it's actually also all the hydrogen type of engines that are coming, but also getting actually the electricity to the trucks. So the networks around it, there's a lot of new concepts, and I think I would invite everyone, while you still can, to come to the IAA this year.
So transformation of the industry is continuing and is a big thing today. When we look around, it's not the same old. What is your view on transformation of the transport sector and of the truck sector?
Yeah, so I mentioned already we are already 25 years a partner in the truck and transport sector. And I think there's a lot of different changes that the industry went through. Right, we have all kind of crises, all kind of growth. What I see most recently, of course, we had COVID, which was a big impact. Then we had actually shortages on trucks, mostly driven by the digital component in the trucks that was not available, the semiconductors, and of course a lot of challenges to getting drivers. I think the overall European industry is challenged on a lot of things, right? And I think this time, the biggest challenge actually is ahead. And what I already just mentioned, it's the factor of decarbonization, the EV factor in there, that will transform our industry in itself, I guess, over the next 5 to 10 years. Maybe not already at the next IAA, but it will certainly come in the next years.
So biggest trend is decarbonization, net zero is the buzzword.
Yeah.
At the same time, we get the feeling that the truck segment is sort of under pressure. It's not easy for them right now. With all that innovation around the corner, how can that help that sector to get out of this negative spiral?
Yeah, so indeed, there's a new growth coming up, but I admit that there's a lot of challenges and it's not making it easier. So making a transformation to electric vehicles, it doesn't make it easier for customers either. I think what you see typically is that actually they are not ready yet. So many customers are trying out a little bit, but it's still very urgent pilots. I think also concepts still need to come to a full growth and maturity before many customers start adopting it. The good thing is that there are pioneers. So for example, we have a customer in the UK that actually just bought a new 18-ton electric truck. So I think it's great to see that, but still, it's 3 times the cost of a normal truck. So it's a different way. Then all the pressure goes on the fleet managers, the operations director, because basically they are given by the company a new target, you need to decarbonize, but no more budget, etc. So you need to have, there's different budget, different cost. You need to change your operations, your fleet operations, actually, because there are certain range that you need to take care of. So there's a lot of new changes that are coming. I think EV is not necessarily helping it on the first time.
So there are a lot of factors holding them back to start the innovation. But in the end, innovation will help them to overcome?
Yeah, so I think this particular innovation, if you look at where the market is going and the needs, they will have to follow in the end. Look at the overall transport sector. The transport sector accounts for 25% of our CO2 emissions globally. The heavy transport and trucks is about 6%. And actually the downside is it's increasing. And usually we use 1990 as a reference point. It's one of the few sectors where the CO2 footprint is increasing except of decreasing. So there's still a lot of work to do. And actually so far what you see is that also actually started governments to actually come with new measurements. So they think we need to come up with new regulations and new pressure. And I admit that that's also needed to get it. But that's not necessarily nice on the short term for the sector. So you see increased taxes on carbon footprint. And that's actually overall in Europe that the companies or that governments have to do it. I believe here it's up to, in Germany, up to 200 euros per ton, 1 ton CO2 emissions. It's a massive amount of money that we're talking about. Then there are CSRD reporting, which we call scope 3 particularly. So if you work for larger companies, then you need to be able to show how much emissions you have. Also you need to come that, but after that, then you need to see, okay, what I'm going to do with it. So you see that there's a lot of changes. Mostly what you'll see is that transport industry is that your customers will start asking for it. And already in many tenders it's soon coming back. What are your CO2 emissions? What are you doing to actually reduce them? So this will come more and more. It's no stopping it. So the industry will go with it. And I think DV and innovations, particularly that we see now here today, are the ones that are needed to do that.
So it gets more and more important to get the CO2 down. And we got the EU regulations pushing that. And yeah. Do you see that, because the CRSD is just for the large companies, does that influence the small companies as well?
Yeah, well, so first of all, it's for the large companies, but it's also for their suppliers. So if you're a supplier to a large company, you need to actually comply to it as well and actually be able to prove and how much CO2 you actually have been emitting. At the same time, over the next couple of years, it will go more and more step by step the regulations into smaller companies as well. So I think that's already a big change. Then of course, reporting in itself is not enough. I think what we'll see next year when you first need to give the first reports, then we need to start thinking, okay, what I'm going to do now to reduce it. And there again, EV measures comes in as one way to reduce the overall emissions that a company has.
So you told us a lot about the challenges and some of the solutions we see here at the IAA. What can Webfleet do to face those challenges and to tackle those problems? Yeah,
so I think what is key to actually introduce any electric vehicle concept, but also to manage it, is in the end data. Data is, I would say, the golden nugget actually that's needed to do this. And I just give you a few examples from things seeing around from customers. So already mentioned a customer in the UK, Mitchell of Mansfield. Actually, they actually transport pallets. They have a factory and they are committed to make it to zero CO2 emissions in 2027. And to do that, one of the things that they did, okay, well, let's see what trucks we can actually replace by electric trucks. And they actually used the Webfleet reporting for that to really understand how far do I go, what type of trucks do I need, how much power does the truck need. So they didn't need actually the highest power truck to actually really replace existing business with an electric vehicle. So there's one example. Another example, we recently supported to win and actually break a Guinness World Record that is in the longest single drive on one battery charge, which was up to more than 800 kilometers on one drive. It's a new world record. And also there, the data played a key part in the planning, but also in understanding at the time, where are we? What is my battery charge? And actually also for the organization of the Guinness World Records, actually to really measure and identify how much kilometers we drove. So it's again, one of those data examples. But I think maybe one of the other ones that I like myself is a company Protectas in Switzerland. They are a security company. And they also already started changing a lot of their vehicles to electric vehicles. They need to be charged, right? But if you charge it, you need to know that you can actually get on the road next year and next day. And there's always some challenges. Let's say nothing of us, non-operations is completely flawless. So the fleet managers, they were actually getting quite nervous around this. So we were able to connect their chargers. So through connecting the chargers, you actually know that the vehicle is being charged. You can actually see when they start charging, when they stop charging, and you can actually optimize that. And by doing that, we brought a lot of peace of mind to the fleet managers actually that has to incorporate the electrification into the overall operations. So for me, those are just some examples of how data and how important data is going to be also in the next decade, particularly if you want to further decarbonize your fleet.
What I find interesting about that is it's not only the operating part, so we start early, right? So we can help when you plan to do the transformation, and then when you bought your first EV, we can help when maintaining it, operating and manage it, but furthermore, even with the surrounding problems like charging and everything, we can help as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so we basically, throughout the whole cycle, from actually not having EVs yet to operating, to managing, including the chargers, so connecting the chargers, I think we have solutions for that. And then again, the data and the data exchange where our platform is key. If you go further also, our platform also allows to incorporate, let's say, other applications. So we're not the only one that comes here with really good solutions. I think there's many of our partners do that as well. So also we use our platform as a let's call it like a synergy platform where the others can connect to. So they can use the same data, build new innovations, and actually also bring that to customers.
I think it's a very, very interesting thing about managing the EVs and getting the whole ecosystem together within Webfleet. And you said we are celebrating today 25 years of Webfleet. And I think it's all about being a partner of the customer, going along with him, being a companion and change with him. Is that something you've seen over the last or many years with Webfleet, with the customers? You've been in contact with many, many customers. Is that the key of Webfleet?
In the end, I said that you put it in my mouth actually. Partnerships is key. And we always find that, for example, APIs, our API strategy is core actually to our growth. Webfleet is not just an application, it's a platform, it's a core platform. We collect the data, not just from our devices, but from any actually source that we can get, including from OEM. So in the end, getting the data and actually opening that up to our partners and the partnership ecosystem is actually key also for our growth.
Getting the right data and getting the data right, presenting them, making better decisions, always been part of our history. And I will talk to Raghunath Banerjee in the next session about the AI. With all the solutions we can offer, it seems like it's solutions for big fleets. It seems like you need a big data, you need big fleets. Is it just for XL fleets, or is Webfleet something for small and medium enterprises as well?
I think it is both, indeed. So the small and medium-sized enterprises, maybe their challenges are even bigger. I mean, the big companies, they have budgets, they have people and resources. I think here, when you're small, you need to become smarter. And we help customers to become smarter. One of the things also that we introduced this week is our AI assistant. So it helps small companies to see where am I, combine it to all the other companies. I think that's really key to make the next steps for small companies. In the end, we always want to have solutions that are, well, the easiest to use, the most comprehensive to use. And you don't need to have a PhD actually to use Webfleet. I think you actually start it up, you get it going, and you immediately start understanding actually how you manage. So the intuitivity, typically something that we want to always bring to any of our customers. I think we open a world for small, medium-sized businesses. It's through our partnerships, it's through the data, and I think we are always committed to help them actually make the next step.
So Webfleet helps everyone, is a partner for everyone. I think we have very, very good solutions we're showing today. We will do a quick tour later on over the booth, showing everything we show here live. Last question. Obviously, you said it's been 6 IAAs you've attended. Obviously, there will be a 7th in 2 years' time. What will be next? When we look at the future, what are the challenges of the industry, and what will we show from Webfleet?
Yeah, so I think on the short term, what we'll see next year coming, 2025, it's our first CSRD reporting that needs to go out. So everybody will be challenged actually, what are you now going to do? So I think that will be really interesting, because I think that's the moment where I think we'll see the real actions step by step coming in. So I hope in the next IAA we'll be already much further in actually seeing customers picking up EV, but as well actually using the data. I think if you go then next to the next 25 years, what are the key changes that are coming? And again, EV will be a key change. It will transform the overall automotive industry. And I think the other one, already starting using that, the data. How you have the data, but particularly the AI part of it will be key. So actually using the data to be able to become smarter, become faster, become more competitive. Then I think there will be a new thing, is that more and more things will connect it. So we always had a vision, everybody had a vision, like the overall, the IoT connected everything. I don't think we ever really got there, but now what you see step by the vehicle, more and more things get connected. It will make it easier to manage your maintenance of your vehicle. In our case, as Bridgestone, also for example, we look at tires. Tires will be connected. The maintenance of tires will become easier. So step by step you see, combined with the artificial intelligence, predictive maintenance. I think that's where the next IAA will be all about. But actually that will transform the next 20 years of our industry.
So what I'm hearing is the industry and the technical side is getting more complex, and our job is to make it easier for the customer to operate.
That's exactly, you couldn't say it better. I think in the end we want to make it as easy as possible, the intuitivity for all of our customers.
I think that's a great end. Thank you for coming, thank you for the time. It's been a lovely interview, and for everyone out there, für alle, die uns jetzt zugeschaut haben, ich freue mich, gleich nach einer kurzen Pause wieder da zu sein, und dann tauchen wir genau in dieses Thema, nämlich noch tiefer ein. Es wird um künstliche Intelligenz, Artificial Intelligence, AI gehen, zusammen mit Raghunath Banerjee, der uns viel darüber erzählen wird, wie wir damit umgehen können und wie das hier den ganzen Mobilitätssektor eigentlich auch verändern wird. Ich freue mich drauf, bleiben Sie dran, bis gleich. Willkommen zurück hier auf der IAA 2024 auf dem Webfleet-Stand, und ich freue mich, dass Sie jetzt wieder dabei sind, denn ich habe wirklich einen super interessanten, hervorragenden Gast bei mir. Raghunath Banerjee ist hier bei mir im Interview. Vice President Data Analytics, Bridgestone Mobility Solutions is the official title. First of all, what does a Vice President Data Analytics do?
Thank you for Michael having me here. And it's my extremely pleasure to lead this team of brilliant data scientists and data analytics who really, truly unlock the power of the data. And we are also adding the new insight and also creating differentiated solution for our fleet customers, that how they can really leverage the data-driven decision-making within their day-to-day operations. That's what we have been doing day in, day out.
All right. And talking about today. You've been at the IAA around, you have a look around. What is your feeling? What is the hot topic when you look around here? What did people miss if they're just watching it coming?
Absolutely. I think it's really great to be back in IAA. What is really mesmerizing here, the speed of innovation, right? What we see that also, very interestingly, the innovation at the heart of our sustainability, that how we can live or make our world better. What we saw few years before, the electrification of the truck, right? And electric trucks was more of a concept. Now we see they are running on the grounds, and there are many of them are showing here, displayed here. I think that's a very phenomenal milestone for us, really, to see these electric trucks coming live and saving tons of CO2s emitting over there. Also, it is interesting to see that we are not only looking into one solution, but also betting on other areas like hydrogen-powered trucks, right? So that's, I feel that's a really great evolution from there. Also, it is as the technology is evolving and we see that great speed of innovation in the entire transportation sector, it is important to understand the connectivity solutions, right? Digital transformation, data, AI is becoming even more important to really bring the value to the end customer and making them more sustainable, making them more outcome-oriented and future-oriented.
So you just mentioned one, I call it buzzword, you mentioned AI, and we want to talk about AI today. I just moved houses, and my feeling is there is no appliance I can buy, from the washing machine to my vacuum cleaner, that claims they have an AI functionality somehow.
Yeah.
What do we see here at the IAA when we look at AI? Does it come to life? How does people benefit from it?
Yeah, I think very importantly, and as you said, AI is not a buzzword anymore, it is reality. Now, what I wanted to focus today, that what is very important for the entire transportation sector, the fleets are the heart of the transportation area. They are the very important player into the entire ecosystem. And how AI is really reshaping them, right? And making much more concrete outcome for them. So, in a way, if you see that AI is present for many years, last 20 years, but we now see a real game changer, the open AI or the Gen AI into this ecosystem, which really makes all of you interact with AI more efficiently, more easily. We don't need to be a technological nerd to really do this one, but you can interact with this one. I think that's really changing the whole landscape, right? So if you look at the traditional way, we have AI-powered camera, we have optimization on the routing softwares, we also have predictive maintenance, right? These are all AI algorithm powered for ages of this part. But what is coming new as a trend is how this different chatbots or large language models in AI is changing the day-to-day operations of the fleet. And that is phenomenal, that is easily, and that is fingertip, and that is helping them to really improve safety, sustainability, productivity, efficiency, and also lots of new insights are coming up, and new applications are also helping the fleet managers to manage their day-to-day operations more smoothly.
When you had a look around and you speak to customers on a regular basis, the transport sector has a reputation of not being the driver of innovation. Let's put it that way. How can AI really support a fleet manager?
Yes, it's a very important question, and also let me give a reference that we have done a study as Webfleet is completing 25 years of journey. We have done a study with 1,800 fleets globally, and we have interacted with fleet managers, key decision makers, fleet owners, and it's really a great insight that we have received, it that almost 58% of the respondents are either using AI or they are seeing that in next 5 years AI is going to disrupt, or AI is going to become a norm in the fleet management area, right? So if you look at the three areas, what they are really thinking tomorrow they can use AI is routing optimization, route optimization. It's important for them to really understand how they can really make the journey safer and the more trips, profitable trips, right? Secondly, the driver behavior and the driver safety. Drivers are the very key important player in this entire ecosystem, keeping their well-being and also making their safety is top priority for the fleet managers. So they're also thinking that how AI is really going to change the behavior of them and keeping the drivers safe, right? That's
Right.
one. Third is maintaining their asset, that they are really day in, day out using the trucks, heavy commercial vehicles, LCVs, passenger cars, making the vehicle health safety or making the prediction earlier how they can prevent any downtime in their entire operation is also very important. So these three they are thinking that immediately AI is going to look at it. But let me give you one important example.
Sure.
Where AI is really changing and where AI is really helping a fleet manager or a dispatcher or a planner. So if you look at the daily life of a planner or a dispatcher, he's really looking at order management system, he's looking at telematics system, he's looking at the driver systems, and he's mapping all of them for this one. But for a human being to making a better decision or informed decision, if you are managing a large fleet with 600 drivers, 600 trailers, and this one is impossible. Where AI is really looking into the historical data, historical trips, and predicting and becoming a more advisor to the fleet manager or the planner that what is the best truck for this trip, what is the best efficient driver for this trip, what is the best route for this trip, so that you can really improve and say that, yeah, this is where my data shows. I'm not taking the decision based on my intuition, but based on my data.
Getting the data right makes better decisions, and that's the help I get. Can you give us an example when it comes to Webfleet?
Yeah.
We talked about fleet managers, right? And now we're talking about Webfleet. How do we use AI right now, and maybe what is to come?
Absolutely. Before telling a very precise what we are doing, let me tell you that in this AI hype, it is all about cultural aspect. How do we embrace AI within the organization? It is very important. So that's what strategically within Webfleet, we have done an AI literacy program for our entire department. It's starting with engineering, starting with marketing, sales, business development, product management, so that everybody is aware of the usage of the AI, ethical part of the AI, safety, security, data privacy part of the AI. And this is really important, right? That's our stepping stone, how we are really setting the whole organization to really leverage the power of the AI. Alternatively, what we also see that every single function need to really play a role in this transformation journey. On this topic, what we wanted to say that we are right now proud to launch Webfleet AI Assistants as part of this IAA transportation event, where all our customers will be able to interact live with their data and make informed decisions. They don't really need to go through multiple reports to make their decisions, but they can really interact, chat with the data. Now this is the beta version is live today, which is on top of our OptiDrive product, which is complete driver behavior management system, where a fleet manager tomorrow can really ask, show me the best performing driver, show me the total mileage of the driver for last 15 days. Our Webfleet AI assistants will provide them the answer. And this is really phenomenal, and what we are really observing a great enthusiasm in our customer base to really test it and become the early adopter of this technology. That's one part. Also what we have launched, Fleet Analytics dashboard. Our goal is today, as you know, digitally, a lot of applications are available for the fleet, starting from transport management system to fleet management system, truck telematics, trailer telematics. You know there are many, even fuel card ingestion, tolling ingestion there. So what we also see is like an information overloading for the fleet manager to really make a decision that what is really right for him. So what we also see that 3 different steps are very important for them. One is the asset consolidation, so that they can see all the asset in one single place,
right,
to really make a strategic decision for the future. Secondly, fleet benchmarking, we are really launching this fleet benchmarking feature with power of the AI to really look at it that a fleet is operating in a specific segment can compare themselves in terms of safety, sustainability, productivity, efficiency, and a customizable KPIs for their operations, how they're performing in terms of the industry. Is there any pain points? Is there any improvement areas? And these two, asset consolidation and the fleet benchmarking, allows us to get into the next step, which is actionable insight to really improve their operational efficiency in all the different domains that they wanted to look at it. So this is also becoming live for our customers, and this is super interesting for us that these two new solutions are hitting the market right now, and our customers will be able to test it out.
So if I get it right, it's about getting all the data and getting the right data,
Yeah.
presenting the data to make better decisions, and now with AI, not even getting the right answers, but asking the right questions. That helps me to ask the right questions, and then getting the right to-dos.
Yeah. Also here, it is a very interesting point. We are also helping if our customers are not sure what to ask, right? That's what we see often in the chat GPT, it goes wrong, right? You ask some questions and it's not really giving you the intended answer. So we are also helping our customers to really choose the right questions for them based on their operational details, that what is the thing that you should ask the Webfleet AI assistant to optimized way get an answer for it. So this is really interesting, and this is a very new direction to our entire product portfolio, and we are proud to present to the market.
When we talk about AI, sometimes people raise concerns, and it's got a lot of data. Are we sharing data? What is about the data privacy? I mean, obviously, when I come to making a decision of buying that solution or not, this will concern me. When we're in Germany, data privacy is a big issue here. What can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Let me link it back to the same topic to our customer survey. It's really important that two areas, all of our fleet managers having a concern in terms of the AI, future AI applications. One is the complexity of the integration of the applications. What they're concerned about is that there are so many digital applications right now in the landscape. To really get the right outcome from the AI, what kind of complexity they need to deal with in future. Right. They are not really empowered with a lot of manpower, so they are really scared about it, that what do you need and what kind of integration is needed to really leverage the AI properly. And the second concern that they raised, of course, data security and privacy. How to ensure that this AI or algorithms that you are using it's not exposing my data to the external world. And that's what I believe that in Webfleet we have taken a very cautious approach. We are ISO 2001 certified, fully data security and privacy perspective, and we have ensured that all the privacy topics first stays on top of our mind before even launching this solution, so that we can ensure that we have a dedicated solution for the customer. Their data remains safe. Whatever the insights that they would get it is only based on their data. It is not really showing any competitor data, and also we have ensured this Webfleet AI assistant is fully proof that even if you ask any wrong questions or any wrong direction of this one, it will protect you from getting into any wrong arena so that you are safe there. So, of course, coming back for our customers and for the future application, data privacy, compliance, and security remains top of our consideration.
So there are concerns, but it's taken care of.
Yes.
Quick question till we come to the end. AI seems to be a big topic, and it seems to solve the problems of very big and large fleets. When we talk about Webfleet and AI used in Webfleet, is this just something for the really large fleets, or is it good for small and medium enterprises as well?
Yeah, I think it is. We are first targeting towards the large fleet initially, because their problems are quite complex. They have a large ecosystem to manage over there. So where we feel that it is very convincing that AI can solve the large amount of data and looking at the large amount of data, giving them the right outcome. But it is not really dedicated for large commercial fleet. As we move forward, as these applications become more mature, it is also applicable for our smaller customer, basically to an entire install base, so that they can use it, they can trust it, and they can really take this insight into the operation to improve their operation on the sun.
Then, coming to the end now, the IAA, you said it's all about innovation. In the end, we're always looking into the future. What kind of innovation is to be expected with AI in the fleet management sector?
Absolutely. You see that I will take you in a 3 different stage. The first stage today, where AI is playing a very critical role, is bringing the insights to the fleet manager. It is looking into large amount of data like your predictive maintenance, vehicle utilization, driver behavior monitoring, camera events, and giving you the right insight. But today, not necessarily there is enough trust on those model outcomes that fleet manager can really blindly follow the decision. They are still validating the ground truth. What we see in next 2 to 3 years of time, these all AI models will be trained with vast amount of data. Traditional algorithm to the large language model will become much more trustable. So the fleet manager can, and it will gain trust over a period of time. So it becomes your companion, right? Which really guides you, which really helps you to take your day-to-day operations, which you are struggling with today, right? In terms of the multiple manual activities and digital systems. And then if you look at the true innovations in the 5 to 10 years window, where all these small applications that you are using in different areas will talk to each other, will really become a virtual assistant for fleet, where it's going to really help the fleet manager on a day-to-day operations, how to manage the operations, how to take better decisions, and which we call it a kind of a digital twin.
Right.
So we see that definitely the speed of the innovation in the AI space that we see last 2 to 3 years, it is that next 5 to 10 years, this is going to become a reality for this one. And which is an immense help for the fleet managers, because today they are really struggling with a lot of operational problems, and how they can really become and strategically think and time spent in the right areas where they would like to really look at their future.
So the future with AI has already begun, and it will be fast.
Absolutely.
And it will be really, really strong. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much.
Vielen Dank für alle, die sich jetzt reingeklickt haben und jetzt schon ein bisschen einen Ausblick bekommen haben, was wir hier auf dem Webfleet-Stand auch zeigen. Wir hören gleich noch Paul Verheyen, der wird uns eine kleine Tour über den ganzen Stand geben und wird uns zeigen, was wir hier alles Neues präsentieren. Und wenn Sie nicht die Möglichkeit gehabt haben, nach Hannover zu kommen, dann bleiben Sie dran, denn dann zeigen wir Ihnen hier, was wir alles auf unserem Stand zeigen. Bis gleich. Willkommen zurück bei unseren Mobility Talks hier von der IAA, und ich freue mich, dass Sie jetzt wieder reingeklickt haben, denn jetzt wird es richtig spannend. Jetzt machen wir eine kleine Runde über unseren Stand und wir werden alles das sehen, was wir hier live zeigen, was neu ist, was besonders ist. Und wer das macht? Ein ganz besonderer Gast. Paul Verheyen ist mein Gast. Welcome, Paul. You are Vice President, Product Strategy and Partnerships, Bridgestone Mobility Solutions. So you're the right guy to talk about what is new and what lies ahead. All the good products, solutions and features went through your hands. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. And what better place than to talk about innovation than the IAA. The IAA, special place for us. On one hand, you can meet all the different OEMs, the Tier 1s, technology providers and what have you. But the IAA is also the place where 25 years ago it started. Webfleet was first announced in the version 1.0 at the IAA.
So we do have anniversary, 25 years of Webfleet, and you've been part of it for a long time. What makes Webfleet special when we look at our customers and customer relations?
I think we started it with the quote there, future-proof your fleet, leverage your data. And that's, I think, one of the key things that we have. We collect a lot of data on behalf of our customers, yet it's so much data, you need to make it simple for our customers to digest, to make decisions on, to work more efficient, to be more productive. And yeah, using data, it changed, and with the vast amount of data that we can get, also from trailers, from the trucks, from the orders. There's so much data. As a fleet manager, the jobs also changes. It's not about the vehicles anymore alone, not only about the people that do the job, but it's so much around it, and we need to help them. Fleet managers become data managers, and that's, I think, the innovation that we have today.
So 25 years of Webfleet, 25 years of innovation, but not only within software and solutions, but also, and that's special about Webfleet as well, hardware. We do show hardware, we do have hardware, and
let's start with the part that we can throw, no?
Yeah, let's start with the part that we can throw. Who's been with us, they know this is
maybe one of the innovations for this
innovation.
year. Yeah.
Please show us.
One of the innovations that we showed actually 2 years ago was the Pro M device. Now we made a upgrade of this device specifically with a laser scanner.
Right.
What I like about it, you can use it with one specific button, you can scan it, and you immediately get the relevant barcode, and you can use that for all the different applications that you have. So the device itself, it's a ruggedized phone. It comes in that sense with the work app that we have for the order management functionality. We have the TomTom Go Fleet app to go with it. But the barcode is clearly something that for the people on the road and the tasks that they need to do is quite helpful.
So we start off with a work phone, Android fully functioned, where we've got the work app. So it sort of substitutes our Pro driver terminals. People used to know fixed mounted.
Yeah,
and we got additional
TomTom
phone,
navigation devices in the past.
The navigation device we have, and now we're adding the laser scanner, so even more productive, because we saw it was quite well received, especially by the last mile delivery sector, right?
So, exactly, and when you look at, especially during the day, if you have to scan many packages, many barcodes, you want to have a reliable device. And what I particularly like about it is that this device then also comes with specific accessories. Let's say a special holder, and we call it a gun, with which you can then very accurately use it, and it saves you also time because it's really quick in making those scans accordingly.
And I think when you talk about phones and work phones and the professional use, the accessory and the spare parts and the battery that you still can buy even 2 years later are a key feature here. And
but also the environment that you use it in. Yeah, we all know I have young kids, and you give them a phone, and a couple of weeks later they come back, can I have a new one because I threw it on the floor? If you look at, we service fleets, people on the road. They are there in trucks or light commercial vehicles, and it's very easy.
All weather conditions, right?
All weather conditions, but we're all human. You sometimes throw it on the floor. It needs to work. It needs to be robust, and it needs to be functional, and that's what these phones do. And then, yes, of course, they come with the navigation, the order management that integrates with our backend accordingly.
And when we talk about accessory, we see this cradle here.
Yeah.
That is very easy to use as well, right?
Yeah. So that's for in car. It's for the charging, but also for the scanning. There's a dedicated accessory, and I think it's something that will become available accordingly.
So so much for the hardware right now.
Yes.
Webfleet quite often is all about the software, and we've got great innovations there.
Absolutely.
Let's
jump
go over there and have a look about the software features we got new.
Yes, let's go.
All right, Paul, we've been just into the driver cabin with the Pro-Am and the hardware. Now we go back to the office.
To the fleet manager.
To the fleet manager and talk about the features we show here, and quite a few. Maybe first of all, you talked about the data that we're collecting and presenting. I think the most prominent example we have to talk about is the AI assistant.
Yes.
What is that about?
Yeah, so in general, we collect a lot of data. We talked about it before. And the traditional ways of providing data back to customers is either through reporting that you download or through specific dashboards. But still, you need to configure those reports in a specific way, and you need to do some work in order to get out what you want. And one of the key things that you have, the latest technology improvements that you see in all around us with regards to generative AI, is that you can talk to your data. And we started with our driving behavior, our OptiDrive reporting. And how cool is it that you can actually ask simple questions specifically to the things that you need. So you tailor, in that sense, your reporting by asking it questions. Can you provide me an overview of the top 3 drivers or the worst 3 drivers? Can you give me the data from Paul Verheijen from the last 3 months? And in that sense, you make it very specific, and you get the information in a question and answer style back. And this is functionality that we have, and it's a different way of consuming the data. And all this big data becomes then small and relevant to the need that you have at that specific moment.
And when you talk about data, I mean, there are many sources we get data from. We will talk about fleet care and the sensors and the data we get there later on. We get all the data from the vehicle, but we do get data from trailers as well. Yes. What are we showing here?
So we have several solutions around trailers. You see that the asset tracking in that sense is as important as the vehicle tracking. We get a lot of data, for instance, around the load of the trailer. We get temperature. We had a solution already that we sell roughly a little bit more than a year. But today we also announced that we integrate also with Smith's Cargo Bull. And basically you get the trailer maintenance data, the EBS data, or temperature data, and TPMS data directly from Smith's Cargo Bull. And I think when it comes to data, it's very important because fleets have mixed vehicles. They might have light commercial vehicles, they might have some passenger cars, they might have the towing units, the trucks, but now the trailers are also basically integrated in the overall solution.
So we've got the data from our vehicles, we got the data from the trailer. Let's move towards the drivers. And Webfleet always puts the driver first. One thing we have to check in Germany, and this is especially a product for Germany, every 6 months the fleet manager has to verify that
driver license check.
Driver license is in place.
Specific feature, specifically for Germany.
Yeah. It's, people will be waiting for it. I know customers were talking about it or asking for it quite a long time. Now we're out. Now it's a bookable feature, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's important to help customers also in the administrative tasks that they have. It helps them also to in their journey around that. And in this sense, it's something that was requested by the German market, and we have implemented it accordingly. Yes.
So, Führerscheinkontrolle is available, is
Yes.
the big question. Still thinking about the drivers and the driver safety and have them secure. We will talk about it later today because I've got a special guest. Hannah Cordes will be here.
Yes.
From Bosch Mobility Platform and Services, and she will talk about the solutions. But I think the interesting thing is driver safety concerning when they're driving, but driver safety when they're not driving is important as well. Together with Bosch, we've got a partnership, secure parking. What is that all about?
So what you see is that a cargo theft is a clear thing, and if you have transport vehicles that always come to your hub, then yeah, you can make sure that they're behind the gate. But if they just park next to the road, yeah, it's relatively easy in that sense to open them up even when the driver is sleeping. And this is the type of situation that you want to prevent. And in our solution, we offer the possibility to book parking spots. And these parking spots, they are in a gated surrounding, cameras, everything around. And you basically see it on the map, you book it accordingly. And what we see is that even on my way here to Hanover, I drove here with an electric vehicle. But as soon as I made a stop, the parking spot that I arrived on, you see a lot of parks around, trucks parked in very strange places.
Right.
I think what we clearly see also from the pilot that we are conducting with Bosch Secure Truck Parking is that we are helping customers to really deal with an issue that they face every day. And that's, I think, what the cooperation is about. It's clearly something that our customers and the planners can help the drivers also with, knowing also the remaining driving time and everything around. And this is, I think, the nature. And we talk a lot about data. For me, this is not data only about reporting, but also data for decision making and keeping your driver safer.
And I think it's a very good example how you leverage synergies when partners come together. We've got data from Webfleet. We know how long will it take him to drive, what are his remaining driving times.
Yes.
And then the fleet manager can have a look in the area. Is there a secure parking spot I can book for him? And that gives peace of mind. It eases the driver.
But also it eases the driver. I think it saves you also in fuel consumption, not having to look for a location and everything around. But also the customers of our customer, they know that the cargo is actually parked in a secure way, those type of things.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's brilliant. And still staying with the driver and talking about driver safety. And again, I will have Damien Penny later on from Lytics talking about our camera solutions. We have
camera over there.
A camera over there. How is video telematics still part or becoming even more important right now?
What I like about the video telematics is that it combines certain things. You have both the forward-facing aspect as well as the inner-facing aspect. We talked about the driver license check. Yes, of course you want to make sure that that is still valid and up to date. But at the same time, you also want to be sure that your drivers actually use their seatbelt.
True.
Whether people are on the phone, yes or no, while driving. Yeah, these are not situations where you necessarily want to be in because your attention span goes differently. But at the same time, and we hear many stories also from our customers, when something happens in front of you and you have a recording of that and it immediately exempts the driver from all fault, this also has value. It has value from the insurance point of view, but also from a company point of view. And at the same time, if you see certain behavior that is dangerous, then you also have the material that you can coach your drivers in. And yeah, in that sense, video telematics was clearly something that was already earlier in the US and the UK maybe. And maybe that was more from a different privacy point of view. But yeah, we introduced it in such a way that you can make all these tweaks. You can disable the inner-facing camera, but still use the AI events to detect certain events and still have reporting on it. And I think that these type of things are important. You can have camera telematics, video telematics, but still do the privacy accordingly. And that in an integrated solution where you have the camera images, you have your order management, you have your driving behavior, and then OptiDrive also adds again to the cameras add to the OptiDrive information. I think it's an integrated suite that gives an overall solution for the customers to be more efficient and productive and sustainable.
So I think the message is clear. In the end, all these technologies really works for the driver and works for the company and for the fleet manager. Let's jump just around the corner because we've got one more thing to show.
One more stop.
One more stop. Let's call it a pit stop because we're changing tires. Not really. No, we're talking about tires and tire solutions. Let's go around the corner.
1.8 seconds? No?
Yeah. Paul, we're now at the Fleet Care corner, let's call it that way. Fleet Care is an integrated part of Bridgestone and Webfleet, and we're offering big solutions here, and we're showing innovation here. We talked about collecting data. Let's start with that. What are we offering and what are we showing here? What is new?
With Fleet Care, the worlds of the data around tires as well as telematics come together. And what we provide, we call it Fleet Data Analytics Reporting, is specific reporting where you leverage both the tire information, the sensor information from the tires, as well as your telematics data. But not only is that available for your fleet, there's also a benchmarking where you are benchmarked against anonymized fleets in that sense. So it really helps you to understand where you are, but also how you do compared to industry peers. And I think this comparative scoring also gives relevant information. And we talked about data a lot today. If you simply look at all the data that we collect easily 20 billion position points a month. If you would give that to the customer, everybody would go crazy. There's too much data. But making it small, making it relevant is the key aspect, because that helps you to make decisions. And that, here with Bridgestone Fleet Care, it's exactly the same.
So we got new sensors in the tires. They give us more information, temperature, wear, loads.
And you can use that information also for the wear algorithms. And it gives an indication around the tread depth. So this tire is a completely new tire, but if they're on the road, you want to know at what point in time you need to change them. You want to know about how they are worn. And in that sense, it's clearly the maintenance aspect that you want to be smart about.
And with the data analytics in Fleet Care, we're not even not only presenting data, we're asking the right questions and we're comparing it to your peers and show you the benchmark where you should be or where you could be.
Exactly.
And we do a deep dive with Mark Tedejo just in the next bit. So we're going to do a deep dive here when we talk about Fleet Care and how the tire world and the data world really get combined.
And that's the same what we see on the stand here today. Yeah, we see tires, but also digital products, the hardware, the stuff that we can throw coming together in one stand, all under the umbrella of Bridgestone Fleet Care accordingly.
Very interesting, I would say. Let's go to the bar and then we have a quick talk how it all comes together.
Absolutely, let's do that.
Well, Paul, I think we had a great tour. We saw a lot of hardware. We talked about the Pro-M and the new scanner. We saw a lot of software, about the AI assistant and many different solutions here. At the end, even about tire, Fleet Care and data analytics support here. Asking the right questions, getting the right answers, comparing me and challenging me to do better. But we started off that it's our anniversary. It's 25 years of Webfleet, and As I said, you've been there a long time, not the whole 25 years.
19 years.
19 years
And
is
counting.
a long time.
Yes.
And obviously, you've spent a lot of time with our customers. What stands out in these years with talking to the customers, being part of the journey?
Currently, I'm in product management, but in the past, I was also in sales in the early days. And I recently met one of our customers, was one of the customers that I closed personally. And I asked him after, I think it was more or less 13, 14 years of usage, are you happy with it? Yes. But how did it help you? And what you really see is, irrespective of the moment in time, whether it was 19 years ago, 6 years ago, or now, customers use our products to be more effective, to increase their productivity, to be more sustainable, or even for compliance or increasing their service levels. And at different times, each of these 5 aspects play a role. If the fuel prices go up, the interest in topics like OptiDrive go up. And nowadays around CSRD, CO2 reporting is in. But in the end, Webfleet provides the insight that they need to be able to manage their fleet. And this is what it does today. This is what the intention was 25 years ago. And hopefully in 25 years from now, so 50 years of Webfleet, the same applies, that we help our customers to be more effective, to be more productive, help them with sustainability, but also with compliance accordingly.
So let's say the last 25 years, the industry has changed completely.
Yes.
Webfleet has changed. Every 3 months we've got a new
Release.
set of Webfleet, and that will continue. The problems may change, but the challenges stay the same, and Webfleet will be there on your side as a customer.
I mean, there are things ahead of us like electrification. Yeah, and from a product point of view, we clearly have product managers, developers, everybody working on that. But in the end, the same principles apply. Efficiency, productivity, how you work. And how you work might change, but the principle and the usage of data, I think it will only increase. Yeah.
That's a brilliant look ahead for the next 25 years of Webfleet. We're still going to be there. We're still going to solve problems, even problems we don't know yet.
Absolutely.
That will come. Thank you very much for your time.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for the little tour. And the next bit, der nächste Teil nach der Pause wird dann genau über Fleetcare auch gehen. Ich freue mich total darauf, mal ein bisschen mehr zu erfahren, wie es denn möglich sein wird, mit Daten umzugehen, die wir in komplett neuen Art und Weise präsentieren und helfen, neue Lösungen und neue Wege damit zu finden. Ich sage Dankeschön an der Stelle, aber bleiben Sie dran, gleich geht's weiter. Willkommen zurück hier auf der IAA bei uns bei Webfleet. Ich freue mich, dass Sie jetzt wieder reingeklickt haben, denn es geht direkt weiter. Ich habe einen ganz besonderen Gast hier, der uns über Fleetcare mehr erzählen kann und mehr erzählen wird. Marc Tedesco, President Sales Customer Success EMEA, Bridgestone Mobility Solutions, a very long title, but I think a very good title. You've been here at the IAA for a while now. You've had a look around. What is the feeling here? How does it feel?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, and thanks for having me here with you. And yeah, as you said, IAA is always an exciting event to come to. You can feel the energy in the different halls, all the different innovations, all the different new products, services, etc. that we can see. So it's always a very tiring but at the same time very rewarding experience to come here. So I will still have another long walk throughout the exhibition, and again sinking in all the new stuff that I'm looking at.
We see a lot of innovations, and we already talked with my other guests about the evolution of EV, and we see hydrogen trucks here, artificial intelligence all around. We show something here as well, and you're here as my guest because you're the expert on fleet care. Fleet care is Bridgestone and Webfleet coming together. Years ago we introduced it. People might think, well, they're coming again with the same topic. Again, they're talking about fleet care, but a lot has changed. What has fleet care to offer now, and what changed from the beginning to now?
Well, I think that's a great question in the end. Of course, the essence of fleet care continues to be the same, in which we bring the best of the different worlds in which we work, the best of our different solutions, products and services. So we bring our core expertise, which is tires and rubber. We bring, of course, telematics through Webfleet, and we, of course, bring also our expertise in the retail area. And all this is powered by data and by different solutions that we have to enable fleet care. No? So yes, fleet care, what's important to understand, it is an evolving and I would say living concept. So our portfolio of products, solutions and services continues to grow as we speak. So I would say every month we're bringing new features to Webfleet. Let me start by just summing up what's happened in 2024. We started off by launching what we called our EV platform, which was an extremely innovative platform, open platform, where we're bringing the best of different worlds, the best of energy providers together with the best of mobility solutions providers, and all under the Webfleet umbrella. So that's something quite innovative that we brought to the market at the beginning of 2024. What are we pioneering here in IAA? Well, we go from showcasing the Webfleet IA kind of OptiDrive kind of consultancy. So I think that's a big step forward in enabling our fleets to be able to understand their driver performance based on AI prompts that we are helping them to build and to input into the system. We are also bringing the fleet data analytics, which we think is clearly a breakthrough in everything that has to do with fleet efficiency and fleet performance. And let me explain to you very quickly what that really means. So our fleet data analytics, in the end, we are collecting data from different sources. Of course, we have the telematics source, we have the tire sensor source, we have our own algorithms that we are also feeding from. And all this data, we integrate it, we use AI, we use our data scientists to then bring it back to our fleets as very powerful KPIs that then they can work on. Because this is one of the things that we've understood since we launched Fleet Care. It has had a great acceptance in the market, but what we also saw that a lot of our customers were saying, this is really interesting, but I don't really need much more data. I have too much data already today. I would like you to help me to take all that data and bring it back to me in terms of meaningful KPIs that I can really then action on and improve our business. And that is a bit the essence of why we have developed what we call the fleet data analytics. More stuff that we've brought to IAA. We brought, of course, our drive over ramps. We brought the new connectivity we have with the OE TPMS, meaning that you don't need to install any new hardware. In the end, again, the reason behind Fleet Care is to make our customers, our fleet customers' life easier, but at the same time a lot more efficient and more productive. So many different things that happened since 2 years ago, and I think we are in a completely different reality today regarding Fleet Care, and we know that that is a continuous evolution, continuous improvement.
So I get the feeling that with Fleet Care we added a lot of features. These features got smarter. We can dive into the one or the other feature quite in a minute, but can you give us maybe one or two examples of customers? How do they profit from Fleet Care?
I think that's it's an excellent question, of course, because it's not about the features, it's not about product solutions or services, it's about what are the benefits for our customers. No? And just to give you a quick example, there is Ematra, one of our key customers in Spain. They are into container transportation, and since they have adopted FleetCare and started working with us in the different fields, they've seen how their fuel savings have increased by 5%, so 5% less fuel in the end for all the fleet. And at the same time, they've also seen how they have improved by 12% their different road incidents. So quite clearly, I would say some interesting data. And again, what we try to do with FleetCare is to prove with actual data and actual, I would say, initiatives so that you can really see the benefits. Let me give you another example. Let's keep it to Spain. As I'm Spanish, I think it's a nice way to show you examples. ESK, that's another very important customer of ours. They specialize in the transportation of hazardous goods.
Right.
So they are really big on safety. I mean, what they've seen also is by using FleetCare, they've managed to reduce the downtime by around 20% in there. And of course, they've also seen how their tire life, thanks to the information that we have collected from the different sensors and also from the telematics, their tire life has increased by around 20%. And I could go on and on. We have around already 1,000 customers who in the end are trusting the FleetCare kind of portfolio, and that's only growing each month.
So I get the feeling that we have a lot of data, right? And it gets more data. We get data from the vehicle, from the CAN bus, from the FMS. We get more data now from the tires as well. Not only the tire pressure, but I believe we get more
temperature, we can get load, we can get acceleration. So there's more and more technology, but in the end, the technology we are bringing to market, that's the enabler for us to then extract that data, which we can then turn into, as I was telling you before, into meaningful KPIs.
Because the amount of data can be overwhelming for the customers, and maybe they say, well, I don't need more data, I need more answers.
Correct.
Right?
No,
and this is where the FleetCare data analytics comes in and helps not even to get the right answers, but even to ask the right questions. And when I got it right, it even compares me to my peer group, let's say, put it that way. Is that about right?
I see you've been doing your homework, so yeah, exactly. I think you explained it really well. I mean, the fact is that you were saying some fleets can be overwhelmed. I think you can take out the can. They are overwhelmed because today there is so much data floating around. There are so many devices. There is so much information. In the end, this means probably additional resources dedicated by the fleet to be able to understand the data, to be able to find the KPIs that really mean something for them. And that's where we come in. As FleetCare, that's where the fleet data analytics comes in. I mean, we are collecting information on areas where we are experts, and we can bring really some interesting insights to them. So our idea is, let us collect that data, let us work on it, and then we will come back to you and co-create together with every individual fleet what are the most meaningful KPIs, what are the most meaningful indicators that they want to, in the end, follow. And as you said, as you rightly said, one of the powerful tools we have is that we are able to compare your own specific KPIs with the average, with the benchmark. And then, of course, that opens a lot of questions, opens a lot of eyes, and also opens a lot of areas of improvement, which we will then, of course, work together with the fleet in achieving.
So I will able to see how much fuel I saved, how much fuel my competitors maybe in average as a benchmark saves, and then suddenly I can expect to see why are they offering
Absolutely.
25 euros cheaper than me.
That is the power of data. Because sometimes we may feel that, hey, we are improving my fuel consumption, to use the same example as you were taking. I'm improving my fuel consumption, but is it enough? Am I at the level of my peers. I'm at the level of the best in class because we also show you not only the average, but also who's the best in class. And then once we identify that there is a gap, then we can dive deeper. Why is this happening? My fuel consumption, is it because my tire pressure is not correct? We have the data. Is it because my driver kind of performance is not as good as some of my peers? We have that data coming from Webfleet. So et cetera, we can then dive deep into the reasons and the root causes for that performance, and already with the fleet agree on what are the measures we're going to put together in order to improve. And then we have a clear target. So it's not only improving, but it's reaching the target, which is, again, being the best in class.
So we're coming from collecting and presenting the data really to a consultant approach, being a companion, being a partner, and going with our customers, making the best or the smart decision. Talking about smart decisions, one thing that's been around in the industry is predictive maintenance. I think that is one little example of what data can do, but I think it's very an obvious one.
Absolutely. I mean, in the end, I think we want a bit transition from the traditional feeling of let's help fleets understand what's going on in their fleet to let's have fleets anticipate, let's help fleets improve the performance of their vehicles, of their overall efficiency. And I think that's where the, like you said, predictive maintenance is coming into the, and today we can collect so much data. Like we said before, we have a drive over ramp, we have TPMS, we have tire mounted sensors, together with the fact that we also have developed data analytics and also algorithms that help us, for example, estimate the wear of a specific tire with a specific vehicle in mind, with a specific route in mind, etc., etc. So all these things together, of course, are going to help our fleets to maximize the value of their assets, minimize the downtime, and in the end, of course, lower the total TCO of their fleet.
So in the end, it's always making the customer more efficient and looking for an easy-to-use solution when it comes to their tire business, but also when it comes to their fleet management solutions. I think it's a very interesting approach from Fleet Care, and we've come a long way. And as you said, every now and then, with Webfleet, it's a cycle of 3 months. We're getting new features with Fleet Care. It's all coming together right now. It'll be really interesting. Obviously, the next question and the last question will be, we've talked about Fleet Care of the past. What will be the future of Fleet Care?
Well, I think in the end, I would be a bit ambitious trying to give you what is the Fleet Care of the future, because we are shaping it every day. I think there is more and more ideas coming up, ideas that we co-create with our customers. They also are opening our eyes. We are opening their eyes with our insights, but they also open our eyes with their requests, their demands they have. And I think that's where all this data, like you were saying, is going to be key, how to use data in a much more productive way, in a much simpler way than what we are traditionally using it for. And the fact that, of course, we have AI. It's a big game changer in all the industry, but I think also for Fleet Care, it's already starting to be a big agent of change. And I think that will accelerate even more the possibilities that Fleet Care can bring to the market. So, I mean, I don't want to put, like we say, fences around the field, because I think the field is is unlimited at the moment. What's most important for us is to continue to be as close as possible to our fleet customers, helping them every day to improve, helping them every day to become more efficient, more productive, and at the same time being able for them to serve their customers in the best possible way.
I think they're great words, that we're here for our customers and trying to help them to be great for their customers. It's a great approach. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving an insight to Fleet Care. Und für alle, die jetzt hier reingeklickt haben, ich freue mich, wenn Sie nach einer kurzen Pause dranbleiben, denn dann bringen wir die zwei Welten auch physisch zueinander. Denn dann habe ich zu Gast Christoph Frost vom Bridgestone und Wolfgang Schmid von Webfleet, und die beiden zusammen werden uns noch weitere Einblicke geben, gerade im Bereich und mit dem Blick auf die Nachhaltigkeit, wie wir das Ganze beeinflussen können und wie wir das Ganze hier verändern. Bleiben Sie dran, wir melden uns nach einer kurzen Pause wieder. Willkommen zurück auf der IAA hier bei Webfleet. Ich freue mich, dass Sie jetzt auch wieder dabei sind. Wir haben hervorragende, wichtige und gute Interviewgäste jetzt geladen. Bei mir ist zum einen Christoph Frost, Director Commercial Products Central Region von Bridgestone Europe. Herzlich willkommen.
Dankeschön, schönen guten Tag.
Und dann im Team jetzt gemeinsam mit Wolfgang Schmid, Webfleet Head of Central Bridgestone Mobility Solutions. Wolfgang, ich grüße dich.
Hallo, servus.
Wir sind heute da, um so ein bisschen auch einen Eindruck zu hören von der IAA, was hier auch gemacht wird, was wir sehen. Gab es schon eine Gelegenheit, sich so ein bisschen umzuschauen?
Oh ja, das mit Sicherheit. Ich bin heute den ersten Tag da, bin so ein bisschen durchgelaufen, habe mir mal den Spirit am Ende des Tages auch mal so ein bisschen auf mich wirken lassen und einfach mal geschaut, wo geht das Ganze auch hin. Ja, und das ist, glaube ich, ein sehr, sehr interessantes Thema. Also wir sehen, dass zum einen mal natürlich dieser traditionelle Teil LKW, alles was mit Nutzfahrzeugen zu tun hat, Ersatzteile und so weiter mit im Raum steht. Aber wir sehen halt ja am Ende des Tages eigentlich an jedem Stand irgendwo diese Verbindung, wie auch bei uns hier, zur Nachhaltigkeit. Zur Nachhaltigkeit in verschiedensten Bereichen. Also Nachhaltigkeit kann man ja auch in verschiedenen Bereichen definieren, wenn man es so sieht. Und das ist schon sehr, 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 sehr interessant, wie das Ganze abgebildet wird.
Wie sind die ersten Eindrücke auf der Seite?
Ja, ich würde es bestätigen, vielleicht noch ergänzen, natürlich aus unserer Sicht dann eben halt auch, dass unheimlich viel Daten eben halt dabei sind. Ja, das heißt also, ich glaube, das Bewusstsein für Daten und was man aus Daten alles machen kann, das glaube ich steigt tatsächlich von jeder Messe. Vor 10 Jahren muss man da noch deutlich mehr erklären und die Leute haben sich gewundert, ja, woher kommen denn eben halt die Daten? Mittlerweile ist bei jedem Fahrzeug, bei jedem LKW ist klar, dass der Daten produziert und es geht jetzt eigentlich mehr darum, was kann man aus den Daten machen, vernünftigerweise draus machen, wie kriegt man aus diesen Daten, die dort ankommen, wie kriegt man dort die Informationen raus?
Ich glaube, es sind 2 Themen, die aber ganz eng immer wieder miteinander zusammenspielen. Gleichzeitig, wir sehen es teilweise hier auf der IAA, aber auch draußen, die Branche, Transportbranche im Speziellen, ist ja schon in einem gewissen Wandel. Also da bewegt sich ja ganz viel. Wie reagiert jetzt auf die Themen gerade Bridgestone mal? Gesagt, Nachhaltigkeit ist das, was jetzt hier speziell Eindruck hinterlassen hat, was man überall sieht. Was ist so die Reaktion von Bridgestone auf diese Anforderungen in der Nachhaltigkeit?
Ja, ich hatte es gerade eben gesagt, ne, man sieht es hier sehr, sehr stark, dieses Thema Nachhaltigkeit und auch bei uns spielt oder wir werden häufig mit diesem Thema der Nachhaltigkeit von unseren Flottenkunden, aber auch von unseren Reifenhändlern, die als Servicepartner für die Flottenkunden agieren, sehr, sehr häufig mit diesem Thema konfrontiert. Jetzt ist aber natürlich die große Frage mal, was ist Nachhaltigkeit im Reifenbereich? Was ist Nachhaltigkeit für die Flotte? Ja, ist Nachhaltigkeit in diesem Moment, wie produzieren wir unsere Reifen, ja, mit unseren eigenen Ansprüchen, also haben wir nachwachsende Rohstoffe, wir selbst als Bridgestone haben uns auferlegt, bis 2030 unsere CO2-Emissionen erstmal zu halbieren und dann 2050 klimaneutral zu werden. Ist Nachhaltigkeit das, was in die Reifen, ich sag mal, wie gesagt, reinkommt? Ist Nachhaltigkeit das, was der Reifen am Ende des Tages der Flotte liefert, also im Kraftstoffverbrauch, in der, ich nenne es mal, längeren Haltbarkeit? Oder ist Nachhaltigkeit dann vielleicht sogar dieses Thema der Ressourcenschonung im Reifen selbst, wenn ich ihn produziere? Also was mache ich mit dem Reifen? Und ja, wie gehen wir damit um? Ein hoher Fokus von uns ist schon immer, wir liefern Premium-Produkte mit der entsprechenden Beratung, wollen wir die richtigen Produkte beim Endverbraucher in den Einsatz bringen. Wenn ich über Premium-Produkte rede, dann rede ich auch über Premium-Karkassen, also den Unterbau des Reifens. Und da greift, und das sieht man ja hier auch am Stand, wir haben auch ein Beispiel davon da greift dann unser Runderneuerungssystem, weil alle unsere Reifen, alle unsere Karkassen sind so gebaut, dass sie Minimum 1 sehr, sehr vielen Fällen eigentlich ein zweites Leben nochmal bieten mit derselben Leistung, mit unserem Grunderneuerungssystem Bandag. Und da kommt Nachhaltigkeit dann für die Flotte nochmal ganz extrem zu tragen, weil dann haben wir nämlich diesen Punkt, dass wir auf einmal sagen, wir reduzieren den Rohmaterialverbrauch im Gummi, im Öl deutlich, weil die Karkasse selbst ja bleibt. Es wird eigentlich nur der Laufstreifen obendrauf ersetzt. Wir reduzieren Stahlverbrauche und natürlich daraus resultierend auch Energieverbrauche. Also ja, das Thema Nachhaltigkeit kommt von der Flotte sehr, sehr stark zu uns, aber in vielen verschiedenen Bereichen. Von wirklich, was kann ich an Kraftstoff sparen, wie lange hält der Reifen, wie gut ist er, dass er mich, sage ich mal, auch auf der Straße hält, bis hin zu dem Punkt Grunderneuerung, zweites, drittes Leben, um die Kosten für den Fuhrpark im Zusammenhang dann auch mit Ressourcenschonung zu reduzieren.
Das heißt, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle gilt auch hier für Bridgestone im Grunde, beginnend mit der Herstellung, aber auch, und da sind wir jetzt wieder an dem Punkt Premium, dafür zu sorgen, dass das Ding möglichst lange hält, dass ich es lange fahren kann. Im privaten Bereich sagt man oft, wer billig kauft, kauft zweimal. Ich glaube, es ist eine wichtige Geschichte, hier auf Qualität zu setzen und zu gucken, kann ich denn mit der Karkasse eine Runderneuerung machen? Kann ich dann nochmal so viele Kilometer fahren? Brauche ich viel weniger Stahl? Brauche ich wieder CO2? Und auf der anderen Seite aber zu gucken, wie können wir mit unserer Technik helfen, dass auch die Unternehmen weniger CO2 ausstoßen und weniger Müll produzieren und so weiter, wenn ich das richtig so verstanden habe.
Ja. Also ich gehe mal auf die erste Frage ein. Kann ich denn mit diesem Reifen die gleiche Kilometerleistung fahren, die gleiche Leistung erfahren am Ende des Tages? Und bei uns als Bridgestone ist es so, dass wir sagen, wir investieren sehr, sehr viel in diese Entwicklung des Neureifens rein, des Premium-Neureifens, im Bereich Sicherheit, im Bereich Rollwiderstand, aber auch im Bereich Laufleistung als solches. Und die Bandag-Grunderneuerungsprofile, die dann im zweiten Schritt hinterherkommen, folgen genau diesen gleichen Spezifikationen. Also das Ziel ist, dass wir am Ende des Tages das Reifenleben verdoppeln, beziehungsweise eigentlich am Ende des Tages verdreifachen.
Und das ist natürlich ein ordentlicher Beitrag im Bereich der Nachhaltigkeit. Das sind ja die Sachen, die wir jetzt quasi aus der Entwicklung raus tun, die vielleicht auch vom Kunden auf uns zulaufen. Es gibt jetzt aber natürlich auch Regulatorien, im europäischen Sektor vor allem, die uns ein Stück weit auch vorgeben, was zu tun ist, die uns vielleicht auch beeinflussen. Also ich spreche jetzt da speziell von Vecto. Das ist so eine Vorschrift, die aus der Europäischen Union kommt. Was hat es damit auf sich und vor allem, wie beeinflusst uns das als Bridgestone bei der Entwicklung?
Naja, wie beeinflusst uns das als Bridgestone? Also grundsätzlich ist ja erstmal Vecto dieses oder Simulationstool, das auf Basis des European Green Deal irgendwann mal entstanden ist, die CO2-Emissionen zu reduzieren. Und daraufhin muss natürlich irgendwann mal geguckt werden im Transportbereich, im Nutzfahrzeugbereich, wie viel CO2 stößt ein Fahrzeug denn eigentlich aus? Wir kennen das aus dem Pkw-Bereich mit WLTP. Das gleiche ist dann beim schweren Nutzfahrzeug Vecto. Und wie simuliere ich das? Und das ist natürlich bei einem Nutzfahrzeug, bei einem schweren, etwas komplexer als jetzt bei einer Konfiguration eines PKWs, weil unterschiedliche Motoren, unterschiedliche Aerodynamik, unterschiedliche Getriebe, unterschiedliche Retarder und so weiter und natürlich auch unterschiedliche Reifen. Und da wird die Sache wirklich interessant und ist, glaube ich, auch eines unserer wirklichen Hauptthemen und Steckenpferde als Bridgestone, zu sagen, wir wollen mit unseren Reifen immer wieder neue Technologien und neue Möglichkeiten auf den Markt bringen, nachhaltiger zu agieren, in dem Falle dann Kraftstoff zu reduzieren und das ist der Rollwiderstandswert, also nicht nur die Labelklasse. Jeder, der heute mal so einen Reifen gekauft hat aus der Transportbranche oder vom Reifenhandel weiß, da steht immer eine Labelklasse drauf, aber in dieser Labelklasse selbst, da sind Rollwiderstandskoeffizienten, also Rollwiderstandsbeiwerte drin. Und diese Werte wiederum, die führen am Ende des Tages nochmal dazu, dass man innerhalb einer Klasse sogar nochmal 5% Kraftstoff oder bis zu 5% Kraftstoff sparen kann. Und unser Fokus als Bridgestone liegt ganz klar darauf, Reifen mit dem geringsten Rollwiderstandswert als solches zu entwickeln und weiterzuentwickeln und mit all diesen Zielen, die uns die EU vorgibt, werden natürlich diese Herausforderungen auch immer größer, aber als diesen Herausforderungen können wir, glaube ich, uns als Bridgestone sehr, sehr gut stellen und haben heute in allen Bereichen, egal ob wir über den Fernverkehrsbereich reden, ob wir über den Regional- bis Überregionalbereich reden, ob wir selbst über, sage ich mal, Winteranwendungen oder auch Stadtbusanwendungen reden, Reifen, die von den Rollwiderstandswerten her einfach dazu beitragen, deutlich CO2 respektive Kraftstoffverbrauch zu reduzieren und so ihren Beitrag zu leisten.
Ich glaube, CO2-Ausstoß ist ein ganz, ganz wichtiges Thema von der EU kommend. Da gibt es ja auch andere Vorgaben, CSRD. Wir haben Mobility Talks Anfang des Jahres mal ausführlich darüber gesprochen, was da so die Anforderungen sind. Aber da kommt ja Webfleet jetzt ins Spiel. CO2 einsparen, das eine geht wirklich über den Reifen, aber Webfleet kann da auch unterstützen, zum einen CSRD einzuhalten, zu reporten, aber zum anderen massiv CO2 einzusparen. Wie machen die von Webfleet das?
Ja, für uns ist ja erstmal, dass wir alles das, was der Herr Frost gerade schon erklärt hat, das weisen wir im Prinzip über Daten nach. Ja, das heißt also, zu sagen, ich fahre länger, ich fahre mit weniger Verbrauch, lässt sich ja alles über Daten erheben und messen. Und genau dort kommen wir ja in dieses Reporting dann eben halt rein, wo es darum geht, dass ich auch als Subunternehmer meinem Auftraggeber nachweisen kann, ich bin mit weniger Sprit unterwegs. Ja, ich spare mir, auf der einen Seite spare ich natürlich den Sprit, auf der anderen Seite ist es aber auch so, dass ich darüber reporten kann und damit mein Auftraggeber wieder einen Vorteil hat. Ja, und damit komme ich natürlich in einen Bereich rein, wo über die Daten nochmal deutlich mehr dann eben halt auch läuft, weil es dann eben halt auch darum geht zu sagen, eine Tour oder Kilometer, die ich gar nicht fahre, die verursachen auch kein CO2. Ja, und dementsprechend komme ich an der Stelle dann eben halt weiter und sage, aus dem Gesamtgefüge, was Webfleet dann eben halt anbieten kann, da sind wir dann in dem Bereich, dass wir sagen, wir sind wirklich auf dem Weg der Nachhaltigkeit ein guter Partner für unsere Kunden.
Das heißt so ein bisschen auch, nur wenn ich es aktiv messe, dann habe ich auch Referenzwerte und kann mich darüber wieder verbessern und kann darüber gucken, dass ich nach unten gehe. Es wird natürlich sicherlich irgendwann mal auch ein Preisschild an den CO2-Wert kommen. Dann wird das Ganze nochmal viel interessanter. Und mit CSRD sind viele Unternehmen ja jetzt schon in der Verantwortung, ihren CO2-Ausstoß nachzuweisen. Und ich kann mir vorstellen, über die nächsten Monate und Jahre wird das nach unten durchgereicht, oder?
Das ist im Augenblick tatsächlich schon so. Das heißt, die Unternehmen, die in dieser Reporting Directive genannt waren, das sind erstmal relativ große. Deswegen wiegen sich auch viele der kleineren Unternehmen in Sicherheit. Tatsächlich wird es aber nach unten durchgereicht, weil es eben halt darum geht, über eine Ausschreibung als Auftraggeber zu sagen, ich will ja oder ich muss meine Werte erreichen. Ja, ich kann ja nicht sagen, was die da drunter machen, das ist mir völlig egal, nur ich, vielleicht habe ich gar keine eigenen LKWs. Also muss ich ja über die reporten, die eben halt unter mir kommen. Und dort wird es im Bereich der Ausschreibung gemacht und das führt auch dazu, dass es eben halt sehr, sehr zeitkritisch wird. Ja, das heißt, jeder weiß, eine Ausschreibung, 2-3 Wochen hat man vielleicht Zeit, aber dann im Prinzip mit einem Telematics-System zu starten, da wird es tatsächlich eng.
Das heißt, da fängt der frühe Vogel den Wurm und wer vorbereitet ist,
genau,
ist da an
Vorbereitung ist kein Fehler an der Stelle.
Kein Fehler. Wir haben heute schon vieles gehört, auch von Kollegen von Bridgestone Mobility Solutions, unter anderem auch zum Thema künstliche Intelligenz. Und du warst vorher bei dem Thema, überall werden Daten erhoben und mit Daten muss man ja umgehen. Es hilft ja nicht nur, Listen und Listen von einzelnen Werten zu haben, sondern ich muss ja irgendwas damit machen. Jetzt sind wir hier heute auf dem Webfleet-Stand. Was können wir von Webfleet zeigen? Wie gehen wir mit diesem Haufen von Daten um?
Ja, also künstliche Intelligenz ist tatsächlich so dieses Passwort, ja, was wir vorhin auch hatten. Wenn man hier guckt, wer sich alles mit dem Thema beschäftigt, wer überall was zu sagen hat dazu, dann ist es momentan in aller Munde. Ich denke, man muss ein bisschen differenzieren, wo wendet man es dann eben halt an, wo läuft es tatsächlich rein. Wir zeigen hier AI-Reporting, das heißt im Bereich von OptiDrive, im Fahrverhalten zeigen wir tatsächlich auf, wie komme ich besser an die Daten ran. Vielleicht im Blick auf die Historie, vor 5 Jahren, vor 10 Jahren hat man Reports gemacht, Berichte. Ausgedruckt.
Lange Excel-Listen.
Genau.
Tapeten.
Genau, ja, insbesondere wenn es eben dann über größere Flotten ging. Danach kamen Dashboards. Da konnte ich schon mal reinklicken und habe es vielleicht noch in Farbe bekommen. Ja, das war schon ein deutlicher Fortschritt. Was wir jetzt machen, ist typischerweise eben halt diese Unterhaltung mit dem System. Das heißt, meine erste Abfrage kann ein bisschen genereller sein und dann gehe ich in der Abfrage im Prinzip weiter, weil ich mir denke, ja, da muss ich es noch verfeinern, dass ich tatsächlich das Ergebnis bekomme, das ich eben halt haben möchte. Und selbst die Fragen, die Folgefragen, selbst die werden von unserer AI wieder mit vorgegeben. Also von dem her ist es tatsächlich etwas, was die Nutzung dieser Daten deutlich vereinfacht.
Das heißt, es wird mir sogar geholfen, die richtigen Fragen zu stellen, um dann an die Ergebnisse zu kommen.
Die Kommunikation in den Weg zu bringen, spannend. Wobei ich es aber auch wichtig finde, eben mal zu sagen, das ist ein Teil, ich würde es aber nicht auf das eingrenzen. Ja, du wirst dich nachher mit Lytics unterhalten, da geht es dann eben halt darum, Videotelematik zu haben. Videotelematik kann Daten sicher entsprechend vom Datenschutz nur dann eingesetzt werden, wenn ich tatsächlich AI einsetze. Ja. Ich kann nicht mehr mit if then else programmieren. Funktioniert an der Stelle eben halt einfach nicht. Und der dritte Bereich, wo ich es dazu nehmen wollte, was AI angeht, ist tatsächlich die Daten aufzubereiten. Das heißt, die Menge an Daten in irgendeiner Form sinnvoll zusammenzubringen und dort auch wieder neutralisiert Vergleiche über die Industrie zu bringen. Das funktioniert mit Ausdrucken und Ähnlichem nicht mehr. Da muss wirklich ein System dahinter und da zeigen wir auch hier auf dem Stand, was wir eben halt damit können.
Und da möchte ich kurz einhaken, weil das ist wirklich eine super spannende Geschichte. Fahrzeugdaten, Daten aus dem Fahrzeug, Verbrauchsdaten und so weiter. Das ist das eine. Das andere, was wir ja zeigen, ist, dass wir mehr und mehr Daten aus dem Reifen bekommen. Kann man sich erstmal gar nicht vorstellen und sagen, nee, Reifen fährt halt. Nee, da werden ganz, ganz viele Daten produziert und werden erhoben. Beide Daten fließen zusammen. Und jetzt kommen wir quasi zur Lösung. Ja, da sind wir im Bereich Fleet Care. Wie kommen wir da vorwärts? Wir sprechen schon einige Jahre jetzt drüber in verschiedenen Konstellationen, aber jetzt machen wir, glaube ich, nochmal einen richtigen Sprung, weil jetzt noch mehr Daten aus dem Reifen kommen.
Ja, absolut. Also als wir damals das allererste Mal uns in dem Rahmen hier unterhalten hatten, da kann ich mich heute noch daran erinnern, habe ich gesagt, das, was wir jetzt eigentlich können und in der Zukunft können werden, das ist das, was ich mir eigentlich vor 20 Jahren gewünscht hätte. Ja. Nämlich den Reifen digital machen und alles, was mit dem Reifen um das Nutzfahrzeug herum passiert, am Ende des Tages transparent zu machen und steuerbar zu machen. Ja? Und nicht mit Excel-Tapeten, wie wir es gerade eben gesagt haben, sondern wirklich proaktiv. Und so ein Reifen trägt zu diesem ganzen Thema des Fuhrparks relativ viel bei. Sie haben gerade eben jetzt das Thema Fleet Care angesprochen, also unsere integrierte Flottenlösung, die zum einen mal aus dem Reifenmanagement besteht, also ein Reifenmanagement, das auf die individuellen Bedürfnisse des Verbrauchers und des Fuhrparks ausgelegt ist. Und dieses Reifenmanagement, das ergänzen wir dann schon mal durch die Daten, die aus dem Reifen durch TPMS-Systeme, also Tire Pressure Monitoring Systems oder TMS, Tire Mounted Sensor, also aus dem Reifen selbst herauskommen. Ja. Das geht heute so weit, dass wir nicht nur Reifendruck und Reifentemperatur, sondern wir können Beladungszustände, wir können Restprofiltiefen uns anschauen. Und das sind Sachen, die gingen so früher nicht, die sind aber extrem notwendig oder wichtig, um dann dieses in die Telematik einzufüttern und in Richtung proaktive Wartung und ja, wir haben es früher mal Uptime immer wieder genannt, also die Instandhaltung oder die Gesundhaltung des Fuhrparks zu gehen. Das sind aber nur die Daten des Reifens auf der einen Seite. Das andere ist natürlich das, was Wolfgang Schmid gerade eben schon angesprochen hatte. Das sind so Themen wie fährt eigentlich der Fahrer mit dem Reifen? Ja, wir können natürlich viel über einen Energiesparreifen, einen energieeffizienten Reifen sprechen mit reduziertem Rollwiderstand. Wenn ich das Fahrzeug nicht entsprechend bewege, kommen wir zum Thema OptiDrive, dann kann ich da machen, was ich möchte. Ich spare zwar Kraftstoff, aber ich hole nicht das komplette Potenzial raus. Und ich glaube, das ist das Wichtige am Ende des Tages, über das wir reden. Wir haben heute es geschafft, eine exzellente Reifenentwicklung, die Bridgestone bereitstellen kann, einen exzellenten Service durch unsere Servicepartner, durch unsere Reifenhändler draußen vor Ort, eine ganz klare Struktur, was die Flotte eigentlich benötigt, eine Standardisierung, was die Flotte benötigt, zu kombinieren mit den Daten, die dort passieren und die dann für das proaktive Steuern an die Flotte und an den Verbraucher weiterzugeben. Und das dann durch Webfleet mit all diesen Möglichkeiten, Geschäftsprozesse weiter zu optimieren. Und ich glaube, mehr geht nicht mehr. Mehr geht nicht. Es geht natürlich immer mehr und wir werden mal schauen, wo wir irgendwann hinkommen. Aber
2 Jahren reden wir wieder und erzählen wir, was alles noch gekommen ist.
Ja, aber das ist schon ein Schritt, der ist extrem weit gegangen mittlerweile. Und jedes Mal, wenn ich dann hier stehe und mir dann auch mal angucke, hier auf diesen Live-Präsentationen an den Bildschirmen, was heute eigentlich wirklich schon alles sichtbar ist, bin ich da wirklich beeindruckt und freue mich drauf, dass das auch einfach weitergeht, weil das wird, und jetzt kommen wir wieder zum Thema zurück, was wir davor angesprochen hatten, nämlich Nachhaltigkeit. Noch nachhaltiger geht es dann eigentlich gar nicht. Ne? Ich bewege mein Fahrzeug in der effizientesten Art, die möglich ist. Ich versuche alle Prozesse, die irgendwo mit dem Fahrzeug zu tun haben, wie Wartung, wie mögliche Pannenfälle, wie auch immer, in den normalen Prozess mit einzusteuern, um möglichst ideal und effizient und produktiv unterwegs zu sein. Und am Ende des Tages gucke ich mir noch an, fahren wir denn auch in der richtigen Art und Weise, fahren wir sicher und mehr Ressourcenschonung und CO2-Optimierung geht eigentlich nicht.
Alles gehört natürlich dazu und die richtigen Entscheidungen zu treffen, dazu brauche ich viele Daten und da kommen dann die Reifendaten zusammen und dann im Bereich von Fleetcare gibt es auch die Möglichkeit, dass mir hier geholfen wird, mich zu vergleichen, die richtigen Fragen zu stellen und auch die richtigen Entscheidungen zu treffen. Und auch da, glaube ich, haben wir hier noch eine Lösung, die wir hier zeigen können auf der IAA im Bereich der Reifen, wo uns über das Berichtswesen um Consulting-Ansatz gezeigt wird, hey, wo stehe ich denn eigentlich mit meinem Unternehmen im Vergleich zu Flotten, die vergleichbar sind? Und da haben wir ja heute auch schon von Marc Tedeo einiges gehört. Das ist eine spannende Geschichte, oder?
Das ist super spannend und wie gesagt, es geht eben halt nur darin, wenn ich eben halt nicht mehr manuell irgendwelche Tabellen übereinander halten muss, sondern wenn es tatsächlich dann eben halt darum geht, die Vergleichbarkeit dieser Industrie im Prinzip auf das KPI runterzubrechen. Also um jetzt nicht den Fernfahrer München-Hamburg mit dem Müllsammelfahrzeug zu vergleichen, sondern tatsächlich dann eben halt hingehe und sage, ich vergleiche Äpfel mit Äpfel und Birnen mit Birnen. Und da war man tatsächlich eben halt auch richtig, richtig gut damit. Und das macht Spaß, weil auch die Kunden dann eben halt sehen, dass wir Daten bereitstellen können, die vielleicht davor schon so ein Bauchgefühl waren, aber eben halt jetzt entsprechend nachgewiesen werden können.
Ich glaube, das ist ein schöner Abschluss zu sagen, weil es eigentlich uns seit 25 Jahren begleitet, ja, Daten zu erheben, die schon da sind im Unternehmen und so bereitzustellen, dass ich Entscheidungen treffen kann, die nicht aus dem Bauch kommen, sondern auf Fakten basieren und damit bessere Entscheidungen sind. Ich bedanke mich herzlich für die Entscheidung, heute hier bei mir im Interview zu sein. Es hat unheimlich viel Spaß gemacht. Ich habe wieder sehr, sehr viel gelernt. Vielen Dank an dieser Stelle. Und an Sie auch vielen Dank, dass Sie jetzt dabei waren. Und es geht gleich weiter, denn dann habe ich meinen nächsten Gast hier. Das ist Hanna Cordes von Bosch Mobility Platform und Solutions. Und da wird es auch nochmal richtig spannend. Da geht es nämlich um Fahrersicherheit und was wir von Webfleet gemeinsam mit Bosch anbieten können, damit der Fahrer sicher ist. Und zwar nicht, wenn er fährt, sondern wenn er schläft. Ich freue mich drauf. Bleiben Sie dran. Bis gleich. Willkommen zurück hier auf unserem Stand von Webfleet auf der IAA 2024. Es waren wirklich spannende Gäste bisher und ich habe mir jetzt einen wirklich interessanten Gast eingeladen. Ich heiße herzlich willkommen Hanna Cordes, Geschäftsführerin von Bosch Mobility Platform und Solutions. Herzlich willkommen.
Vielen Dank, Michael. Ich freue mich, hier zu sein.
Ich freue mich auch und vielleicht am Anfang für unsere Zuschauer und unsere Gäste auch hier auf dem Stand. Bosch Mobility Platform und Solutions. Was muss ich mir darunter vorstellen? Ich glaube, Bosch kennt wirklich jeder hier, der auf der IAA ist. Aber mit der Mobility Platform und Solutions geht man ein bisschen noch einen anderen Weg. Was hat es damit auf sich?
Das ist richtig, genau. Also Bosch kennt man als großer Zulieferer für die OEM-Kunden. Was die wenigsten wissen und was wir ändern wollen, ist, dass wir auch ein großes Angebot in Richtung Flottenkunden aufbauen. Also Bosch hat viel Kompetenz im Bereich Software Services und unser Anspruch ist es auch, die Logistik nachhaltiger zu machen und Flottenkunden zukünftig besser zu bedienen. Und diesen Auftrag hat auch die Bosch Mobility Platform Solutions GmbH, die ich verantworte.
Das heißt, ein Stück weit weniger Hardware, mehr Lösungen aber vor allem A, für die Logistik habe ich verstanden, aber B, auch für die Fahrer. Jetzt über die Frage, schon ein bisschen unterwegs gewesen auf der IAA, wieso sind die ersten Eindrücke?
Also wie immer eine tolle Messe. Ich glaube, das große Thema der IAA dieses Jahr ist die Elektrifizierung, die ist in aller Munde. Und das ist natürlich für uns auch ein Antrieb, das ganze Thema Digitalisierung, wo wir immer wieder hören, es gibt mehr Bedarf, was machen wir, wo kann man stärker digitalisieren, insbesondere auch für kleine und mittlere Unternehmen, hier noch Hilfestellungen zu geben und die Potenziale, die Software und Service nutzt, noch besser zu nutzen.
Das heißt, Digitalisierung ist nicht ein Thema nur für die ganz, ganz großen Flotten, sondern aus eurer Sicht auch tatsächlich für die kleinen und die mittleren Unternehmen, die können besonders davon profitieren?
Absolut, weil auch die kleinen und mittleren kämpfen mit großen Herausforderungen. Und wenn man da die Potenziale von Software, von Services, von Digitalisierung besser nutzt, dann hilft das allen und natürlich auch den kleinen und mittleren Unternehmen, ihren Betrieb am Ende des Tages effizienter, transparenter und auch nachhaltiger abliefern zu können.
Jetzt ist natürlich die Frage, ihr stellt ja hier auch aus. Was zeigt ihr hier auf der IAA? Was könnt ihr anbieten, was dann wirklich auch allen Unternehmen hilft im Bereich Effizienz und Nachhaltigkeit?
Genau, da hole ich mal aus. Also Bosch hat natürlich einen großen Stand und unsere Gesamtgeschichte auf der IAA ist die der Technologieoffenheit. Also wir zeigen verschiedene Antriebstechnologien für unterschiedliche Anwendungsfälle. Und es ist uns ganz wichtig zu sagen, wir können die Herausforderungen der Zukunft in Richtung Emissionen zu reduzieren, über unterschiedliche Wege gehen. Entweder eben auch die traditionelle Verbrennertechnologie noch stärker und effizienter zu machen, auch über Software-Services, aber wir sind natürlich auch in der Elektromobilität unterwegs und im Bereich des grünen Wasserstoffs.
Das heißt, eigentlich offen, euch ist es egal, mit was ich fahre, ihr macht das Fahren und die Abläufe und alles effizienter, ein Stück weit nachhaltiger. Jetzt habe ich in dem Titel gelesen, Plattform. Was ist bei euch das Besondere? Was für eine Art von Plattform bietet ihr? Was macht ihr da für die verschiedenen Partner?
Das kann ich gerne kurz erläutern. Wir haben den Auftrag, das Bosch LOS, das Logistics Operating System, aufzubauen. Und das ist eine offene Plattform, sowohl für Bosch-Lösungen als auch ganz bewusst für Drittanbieter. Die Intention dieser Plattform ist es, für Transportunternehmen den Zugang zu digitalen Lösungen ganz einfach zu machen. Man kann sich das ein Stück weit vorstellen wie einen App Store für die Logistik, wo man digitale Dienste sehr, sehr einfach digital einkaufen kann und wo wir natürlich auch vorqualifizieren und sagen, welche Lösungen passen für welche Herausforderungen. Das ist für den Kunden. Und auf der anderen Seite für Softwareanbieter ist es natürlich eine Möglichkeit, einen zusätzlichen Vertriebskanal noch zu erschließen und damit insgesamt das Ökosystem besser zu machen.
Das heißt, ihr bietet da, du hast gerade gesagt, App Store für die Logistik, ist natürlich sehr, sehr griffig. Die Möglichkeit, digitale Lösungen auf einen Blick zu sehen, gerade für die Logistikbranche, die ich dann dort einkaufen kann. Hast du vielleicht ein, zwei Beispiele, was ich dort quasi für mein Unternehmen bekommen kann? Also von Bosch oder von, du hast gesagt, Partnern auch, ne?
Genau, also ich fange mal mit den Partnerlösungen an. Ein ganz griffiges Beispiel für eine Herausforderung, vor der viele Transportunternehmen stehen, ist das Thema Personalkräftemangel. Und wir haben Lösungen, wie man über digitale Dienste das ganz einfach macht, Fahrer, Lagerpersonal schneller und einfacher in den Betrieb zu integrieren. Ist ein Problem, was wir sehr, sehr stark im Markt sehen und was man auch durch Digitalisierung besser lösen kann. Ich werde gleich noch ein bisschen erzählen, was wir mit Webfleet gemeinsam machen, weil natürlich ist Webfleet einer unserer starken und wichtigen Lösungsanbieter auf der Plattform, gerade im Bereich der Telematik.
Ja, kommen wir gleich dazu, weil wir haben heute ja im Laufe des Tages schon viel gehört über künstliche Intelligenz, EV hast du schon angesprochen, Nachhaltigkeit. Ganz wichtiges Thema, immer wieder, nicht nur für Webfleet, sondern hier auf der ganzen IAA ist natürlich das Thema Fahrersicherheit und Fachkräftemangel, ja, Fahrermangel gerade schon angesprochen. Eine Lösung zu gucken, wie kriege ich sie ins Unternehmen, wie integriere ich sie, wie halte ich sie im Unternehmen. Aber gerade im Bereich der Fahrersicherheit, da gibt es gute Lösungen bei euch, gerade auf der LOS, Logistic Operating System, hattest du gesagt, ne? LOS, ja, im Bereich Fahrersicherheit. gibt es da noch zu erfahren für diejenigen, die sich da informieren wollen?
Also ich lade alle ein, einfach die Plattform mal zu besichtigen und das selber zu erforschen. Im Bereich der Fahrersicherheit haben wir natürlich zum einen das Thema der sicheren Parkplätze, was wir auch mit Webfleet machen, das erkläre ich gleich nochmal. Darüber hinaus bieten wir auch Lösungen in Richtung der Weiterbildung, ja, weil Sicherheit fängt bei Bildung an und je besser der Fahrer informiert ist, je besser er sich auskennt, desto weniger Unfälle passieren, desto weniger Sicherheitsrisiken passieren und das ist für uns ein starker Ansatzpunkt.
Jetzt sind die Stichworte natürlich schon 2-3 Mal gefallen. Die Einladung ging natürlich nicht ohne Grund ausgerechnet an dich. Webfleet und Bosch Mobility Platform und Solutions, also im Bereich des LOS. Wir arbeiten zusammen, wir sind da Teil, wir sind da schon Partner. Und zwar gibt es eine wirklich tolle Lösung, wie ich finde. Secure Parking ist das Thema Fahrersicherheit. Und zwar spannenderweise geht es um die Fahrersicherheit nicht, wenn sie fahren, sondern wenn sie ihre Ruhezeit haben, wenn sie ihre Pausenzeiten haben. Was versteckt sich hinter Secure Parking?
Ich erkläre das mal ganz einfach. Bosch Secure Truck Parking ist im Wesentlichen ein Booking.com für Parkplätze. Das heißt, über eine Buchungsplattform machen wir es ganz einfach, Parkplätze vorzureservieren. Warum tun wir das Ganze? Es ist, glaube ich, allseits bekannt, dass das Thema Parkplatzmangel in Europa ein Riesenproblem ist. Und ganz wichtig, im laufenden Betrieb gehen täglich 30 bis 60 Minuten Zeit verloren, die der Fahrer verliert, weil er einen Parkplatz sucht. Das heißt, das sind bei ungefähr 100 Euro pro Lkw-Stunde richtig Geld, was jeden Tag der Flottenbetreiber auch hier verliert. Und wo wir ansetzen und es deutlich einfacher machen, das Thema Parkplatzbuchung und Reservierung eben zu lösen.
Das heißt, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe, der Parkplatz wird vorab gebucht. Macht das der Fahrer oder macht das der Disponent?
Mit der Integration, die wir jetzt mit Bosch LOS und Webfleet gebaut haben, ist der Disponent dazu in der Lage, die Lösung ganz einfach vorzureservieren und zwar direkt im Webfleet-Portal. Und das ist auch der Mehrwert, weil wir bringen hier verschiedene Dienste zusammen, wir bringen Daten zusammen, das heißt, wir verknüpfen es mit der Lenk- und Ruhezeit. Das Transportunternehmen kann damit quasi vermeiden, dass Fahrzeiten überschritten werden und kann auch den Ankunftszeitpunkt viel genauer bestimmen, was natürlich in der Kundenzufriedenheit am Ende des Tages insbesondere bei den Speditionen auch hilft.
Das heißt, ich nehme ganz viel Stress weg vom Fahrer, weil der sich nicht mehr die Sorgen machen muss, Mensch, jetzt bin ich am 3. Rastplatz vorbeigefahren und die waren alle voll, meine Lenkzeit geht zu Ende, mit der Ruhezeit habe ich Themen, sondern ich als Disponent kann vorher gucken, wie weit kommt der heute noch. Ich mache ein bisschen Puffer, ich buche ihm einen Parkplatz und dann wird er dorthin navigiert und landet dort und er ist safe, kann seine Ruhezeit verbringen. Habt ihr jetzt in ganz Deutschland und Europa Parkplätze gekauft oder wie funktioniert das?
Nein, wir haben keine Parkplätze gekauft, sondern es sind mittlerweile über 400 Parkareale angebunden. Weil das ist die schöne Seite der Plattform. Auf der anderen Seite, wir bieten Transportunternehmen auch die Möglichkeit, Parkraum zur Verfügung zu stellen und auch dem Parkplatzmangel damit quasi weiterzuhelfen, aber natürlich auch eine Monetarisierungs- oder Einkommensquelle zu erschließen. Und damit ist es uns möglich, in 18 europäischen Ländern 400 Parkareale reservierungsfähig zu machen und die sind eben ab sofort auch direkt über Webfleet verfügbar und buchbar.
Das heißt quasi noch ein anderer Benefit, zum einen natürlich für Disponenten, für Fahrer, aber für diejenigen, die sagen, Mensch, ich habe unheimlich viel Platz auf meinem Gelände, meine Fahrzeuge sind alle unterwegs, aber der Parkraum wäre da, die könnten sich auch an euch wenden und bei euch sich quasi, ich sage jetzt mal, listen lassen und dann sagen, Mensch, verdiene ich nochmal nebenbei dadurch, dass ich Parkplätze auf meinem Gelände vermiete.
Ganz genau, so funktioniert das Ganze.
Ich kann mir vorstellen, auf der einen Seite Kommunen, aber vor allem wahrscheinlich Unternehmen.
Ja, also im Wesentlichen sind es Depotbetreiber, die freie Parkplätze zur Verfügung haben und sagen, sie können die auch öffnen für Fremdanbieter.
Finde ich total spannend, weil mein Parkplatzmangel ist ist riesig und ich kann mir auch vorstellen, dass für den einen oder anderen, der sehr teure Güter transportiert, es vielleicht auch gut ist zu wissen, Mensch, ich habe einen besonderen Platz oder einen bestimmten Platz, der vielleicht auch auf einem Areal ist, das eingezäunt ist oder ähnliches, was ich sicherlich auch vorher sehen kann. Finde ich eine spannende Geschichte. Jetzt denken wir mal so ein bisschen an das Thema Parken. Okay, das ist eine Sache. Wie kann das Ganze nochmal weitergehen mit dem Secure Parking? Kann ich dann vielleicht auch sehen, wie die Parkplätze ausgestattet sind, ob da eine Dusche vorhanden ist oder ähnliches?
Absolut, also das sind alles Funktionalitäten, die heute schon verfügbar sind und die wir jetzt sukzessive auch in die Webfleet-Integration mit einbauen. Wir haben ja eine gemeinsame Pilotphase gerade laufen mit sehr, sehr viel Interesse auch auf der Webfleet-Kundenseite und da wird in den nächsten Wochen noch einiges an Funktionalität auch dazu kommen, sodass neue Features dann noch das Ganze noch einfacher und besser machen.
Und an der Stelle, wie immer, auch mal so ein bisschen die Nachricht an Sie. Wir befinden uns hier gerade in der Beta-Phase, das wird getestet und der Zulauf vom Kunden ist wirklich groß, der es auch testen will. Wenn Sie mehr erfahren wollen, wenn Sie mehr wissen wollen oder vielleicht selber sogar das ganze Produkt gleich direkt testen wollen, schreiben Sie uns entweder hier eine kurze Nachricht in den Chat oder schreiben uns eine E-Mail. Mensch, ich bin gerne bereit, hier das System schon mal auszuprobieren, mein Feedback zu geben, damit das Ganze besser wird. Bei Webfleet, wir entwickeln immer vom Kunden, für den Kunden und das Ganze zusammenzubringen ist natürlich uns ein großes Bedürfnis. Ich glaube, das hat wirklich sehr, sehr viel Schönes, aber da wird wahrscheinlich noch nicht Schluss sein, oder? Auf der einen Seite, LOS bringt ganz viele Partner zusammen. Wir werden nicht die Einzigen sein. Es wird viele andere Lösungen noch geben, aber mit Webfleet gemeinsam, glaube ich, geht es auch ein Stück weiter in der Richtung. Was können wir uns bei Secure Parking noch alles vorstellen an Services, was da in der Zukunft mal kommen kann?
Also da haben wir einiges auf der Roadmap, nicht nur im Parking-Bereich, sondern auch darüber hinaus, weil Bosch und Webfleet in Summe eine strategische Partnerschaft eingegangen haben und wir eigentlich festgestellt haben, von den Kompetenzen her, von den Fähigkeiten, die wir mitbringen, ergänzen wir uns sehr gut und wir sehen uns in Summe stärker, wenn wir zusammenarbeiten, wenn wir es möglich machen, dass verschiedene Dienste, die Webfleet entwickelt, aber die auch Bosch entwickelt, zusammen nutzbar sind und auf der Kundenbasis quasi zur Verfügung gestellt werden können. Ich mache es mal konkret. Die fangen an mit dem Thema Parken. Der nächste Use Case, der über eine smarte Integration über LOS dann ab Anfang nächsten Jahres verfügbar sein wird, ist das Thema Laden. Warum? Die Parkplätze kann man sehr, sehr einfach mit einer E-Ladeinfrastruktur ausstatten und das sehen wir als die nächste Zukunftslösung, wenn es darum geht, auch den Fernverkehr zu elektrifizieren. Und wie gesagt, wir sehen es hier auf der IAA, die E-Trucks sind da und das heißt natürlich auch, ich brauche die Ladeinfrastruktur.
Das finde ich ein super, super Hinweis, weil ich habe mich auch schon mal umgeschaut. Auf der einen Seite sehe ich unglaublich viele E-Trucks, aber was ich auch sehe, sind Ladesäulen. Jeder zweite Stand gefühlt, wahrscheinlich auch nur, weil ich mich in dieser Halle hier umschaue, sind entweder Ladestationen, Megawattlader, Wallboxen, was auch immer. Das heißt, Infrastruktur zum Laden wird immer wichtiger. Hören wir auch immer wieder von Kunden, Mensch, das ist noch eine große Herausforderung, aber über so ein Tool, wo ich den Parkplatz buchen kann, zusammen mit der entsprechenden Ladesäule, das ist natürlich eine tolle Geschichte. Damit bin ich natürlich nur einen Schritt weiter. Auch wieder entspannter für den Fahrer, weil er weiß, am nächsten Morgen kann er ganz entspannt wieder weiterfahren. Und was natürlich auch noch dazu kommt, für denjenigen, der die Parkplätze anbietet, ja, kann er nochmal eine extra Mark machen, weil da kann er natürlich an seinen Ladesäulen auch nochmal verdienen. Finde ich eine ganz spannende Geschichte.
Absolut. Es hört aber nicht da auf, das ist die gute Nachricht. Wir haben auch weitere Themen, an denen wir gerade mit Hochdruck arbeiten, Bosch und Webfleet gemeinsam. Ich will noch ein Beispiel nennen aus dem Bereich der Regulatorik. Thema Nichtraucherschutzgesetz, da gibt es eine EU-Rahmengesetzgebung dazu. Aber was wir feststellen, ist, dass das auch immer wichtiger wird im LKW oder auch im Fahrzeugbereich, einen rauchfreien Arbeitsplatz zur Verfügung zu stellen. Ja. Und wir haben da eine Rauchsensorik entwickelt, die Bosch und Webfleet eben auch gemeinsam jetzt Kunden zur Verfügung stellen. Und damit können wir sehr, sehr genau verschiedene Rauchentwicklungen im Fahrzeug detektieren und damit natürlich auch am Ende des Tages als Arbeitgeber einen rauchfreien Arbeitsplatz garantieren.
Ich glaube, es sind tatsächlich zwei Ebenen an der Stelle. Auf einmal das, was ich machen muss aufgrund von EU-Verordnungen, um einen rauchfreien Arbeitsplatz zu generieren. Auf der anderen Seite haben wir natürlich auch ganz, ganz viele Güter, wo das Nichtrauchen extrem wichtig ist und ein Sicherheitsfeature ist. Und dass ich mich da dann verlassen kann, wieder als Unternehmer, das ist dann natürlich eine ganz wichtige Geschichte.
Absolut richtig. Also der Sicherheitsaspekt ist natürlich enorm wichtig und steht bei Bosch mit dem Slogan Technik fürs Leben auch immer im Vordergrund.
Ich finde es super spannend, gerade mit LOS, mit dieser Plattform, diesem App Store für die Logistik, dass da mehr Lösungen und mehr Lösungen reinkommen aus allen Bereichen, mit Webfleet, aber auch von anderen. Ich glaube, man ist immer stärker, wenn man Partner hat und starke Partner hat. Das wird eine ganz gute und wichtige Geschichte. Danke, dass du heute da warst und uns das Ganze ein bisschen erklärt hast, was es damit auf sich hat. Gerade mit der Secure Parking Lösung, glaube ich, haben wir eine richtig tolle Geschichte für viele unserer Kunden, aber auch für viele Kunden, die noch da draußen sind, die täglich damit kämpfen, einen sicheren Parkplatz zu finden. Wie geht's heute noch weiter? Noch die Zeit, ein bisschen auf der IAA rumzuschauen?
Ja, genau. Also der Tag ist voll mit Terminen. Ich freue mich, hier sehr, sehr viele Gespräche mit Kunden, mit Partnern führen zu können. Und es ist einer meiner Lieblingsevents alle 2 Jahre hier in Hannover. Vielen Dank auch für die Einladung hier.
Ich bedanke mich recht, recht herzlich. Und an Sie die kleine Nachricht. Es geht natürlich gleich nochmal weiter. Wir kümmern uns um die Fahrersicherheit, um das Fahrverhalten, vor allem nach vorne, aber auch nach innen. Ich habe Damien Penny zu Gast von Lytix. Der wird uns über die Videotelematik einiges erzählen, wie wir dort proaktiv für Sicherheit sorgen können, wie wir Unfälle vermeiden können. Und da freue ich mich drauf. Wir sind gleich zurück nach einer kleinen Pause. Willkommen zurück hier auf der IAA 2024 bei Webfleet. Wir sind noch nicht ganz am Ende, denn ich habe jetzt noch einen ganz besonderen Gast bei mir, Damien Penny, Vice President EMEA von Lytix. And I say a very warm welcome to Damien. It's great to have you back. You've been here 2 years ago. You've been here at the IAA for quite a while now. You had a look around. What do you think about it? How is it this year?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me back. It's great to be here again. And this is a busy show. This is a huge show. Everybody that matters are here. So it's great walking around, seeing new technology, new vehicles, also seeing Bridgestone on 2 different places around the show as well. So it's a good presence for you, and we're really pleased to be a partner of yours here today.
Just to explain it quickly, Lytix provides technology for Webfleet Video, our video telematics, which we offer to everyone who's in need of it, and I think everyone is. And 2 years ago, we did an interview similar to this, and we introduced Webfleet Video, and we talked about the pros and not so much the cons, but you showed us what are the benefits of video telematics, and back then the UK was picking up quite fast, and obviously the US was going through the roof. But on the European market, you just told me Germany is now in the lead, and it was a bit surprising for me. So when it comes to dashcam and video telematics, Germany is the lead market now.
Well, I think it's a surprise for a lot of people. I've spent a lot of time in the last day and a half just telling people that Germany is now accelerating the adoption of video telematics. So 2 years ago, very, very early. But now Germany is the leading adopter of video telematics in mainland Europe. And they're only behind the UK. But the UK has had probably a few years a head start. So they are now seeing rapid growth. Since we last spoke, they've tripled the amount of adoption of our technology. But also when you just walk around the streets or get on a bus, you see video now everywhere, sitting in a taxi, in a bus, on the corner of a street, maybe CCTV. Now, our technology is not CCTV.
Right.
But I think the mindset of both the public and the government has changed. We've got things like EU GSR coming up in 2026, which is all about putting technology inside the vehicle to protect the drivers. So that's changed. I think the technology itself has really come on in the last couple of years. I think when we last spoke, it was all about the company and the fleet manager, and they were using that to see what was happening out in the field. The technology and the use of AI now has allowed for the technology to do 180 degrees, and it becomes now a tool for the driver. They have the power to decide what they do now when risk is happening in and around the vehicle. And that's a massive change, and that helps the adoption of this type of technology. And I think there's a third thing that's even more important is about GDPR. And again, that's another topic that I talk about all the time when I'm out there. GDPR, it's not legal. Well, I think in the last 2 years, people have started to understand what it can do and what it can't do, what is important, what is not important, how to manage the privacy of the data, but also how to ensure that the driver is safe and gets home safe every night.
And that's the goal, that the driver is safe, and we don't have enough drivers, so more than a reason to ensure that their risk is reduced. And when we talked about video telematics last time, it was like 3 parts of it, right? It was, on the one hand, see not what's happening, but what happened. It's just when something happened, you've got proof what really was. The second thing was, hey, use that videos to educate your drivers, right? So using material, what happened, to make them better. But the third step, and I think that's the difference then to any dash cam as the video telematics, is that within the cabin, you get feedback, and the driver is in charge, and the driver reduces the risk using this tool. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's totally right. Now, there is still a place for reactive technology. So something's happened, we want to know what happens. And insurance companies, for example, they want to see what has happened out there to minimize the increase in costs. So quickly, let me see what's happened. But where the real money is, where the real technology is going, is now in the vehicle, on the edge, in the hand of the driver, so they can do something about it in real time. So there's this concept, which I'll probably come back to, but this is concept of time to action. So using AI and using the technology that you have now embedded in your solution, it allows you to give the driver the best chance of reacting, taking action to the risk that they're finding around them. And that is the big change. And if I was a driver, then you want as many tools as possible to make sure that you're safe and you get home. And really, companies now are adopting this because it's also part of their corporate responsibility. I have to look after my employees. What is the best way to do it? Let's give them tools to keep them safe. So yeah, you're right. Each stage is important, but now, 2 years later, that proactive and maybe predictive technology, using AI to manage lots of data, is a reality in the cab.
When we're talking about reducing the risk while driving, do you have a few examples? What kind of risk is detected and the driver can react to?
So we know that there's a lot of distraction on the road today. And it's very easy for a driver to become distracted by other users on the road, or to get distracted even by a notification that may appear on their phone. Now, we don't want, and I'm sure most drivers don't pick up their phone, but if they got distracted by it, the technology allows them to say, watch out, get your eyes back on the road. It doesn't necessarily send a video to their manager. It just says, keep focused on the road. So that's important. That's one of the things that happens. But equally, we get fatigue on the road. And sometimes, somebody said to me the other day that fatigue is not a choice.
Right.
It's not a choice. It's a choice to smoke. I'm going to pick up a cigarette and I'm going to smoke. It's a choice to pick up my phone. But fatigue is not a choice. So we have to have technology that is able to identify fatigue as it happens. For example, yawning, as an obvious sign of perhaps you're getting tired. That technology is available now. So it can warn you that actually I think you're getting tired in the vehicle today. So it's really important to look at all of this new technology coming out, make sure that it's applicable to the driver, and they will use it. And that's so different to what it was in the past.
Did that change when we talk back? Our drivers were very reluctant, and they were like, "Oh, I don't really want the camera when I'm working all the time." Do you find when implementing the solutions, showing them videos, showing them how it works for them, that there's a change of mind when they're using it?
Yeah, no. So I think it's all about education. So we don't talk about video. You talk about safety. You talk about improving the safety on the road and using tools such as video telematics to do that. I think when drivers actually see that the video is not being used to penalise them, it's being used to protect them, that is really a big change.
Right?
It's a massive change. Now, we don't want to wait for an accident to happen on the road, a collision to happen.
We don't want an accident.
We don't want an accident. Do you know what? We don't even want a video. We don't want to see anything. We want our technology to do nothing all day, because if that's the case, then everybody is safe. And that's really what our goal is.
And just picking up what you said earlier, risk is all around us. We look around here at the IAA, and there's technology all around us. You might think that the risk should be down over the years. Has that happened?
Well, it does. The risk comes down. There's no doubt. From the 25 years we've been doing this, we see nearly every case, I shouldn't say every case, nearly every case, the risk is reduced. And now we would say that, wouldn't we? But a recent report was produced by an insurance company. They ran our technology in one of their worst performing fleets for a whole year. They were losing money. I think it was 113%. They were losing money. And they reduced that down to, I think, 30% of, and what that meant is that suddenly, not only were they making money, but they were able to apply cheaper costs for insurance to that fleet. And we've got now a second case study of exactly the same thing happening. So it's not our data. This is an insurance company that really, value data, and they're showing that this technology works. And it works not because the fleet manager is hitting the driver with a stick. It works because the driver now is in control of their own destiny, and that is the critical point.
So basically putting the driver back in the driver's seat makes the change when using the tools.
Yeah, I mean, our focus is all about the driver, because the driver is the most important technology in the vehicle. And I think I said that last time when I spoke to you, and we still do that because it's critical for us to design things that the driver will use. If they don't use them, it's not going to improve their safety. So the driver is critical. You start from there and you build technology around that.
Coming back to that, to the driver, and we just mentioned it already, data privacy is a huge topic. We're right now in Germany, and when it comes to innovation, we don't have a reputation of, how do you call it, jumping the horse? Is it?
Yeah, I get it.
Jumping the gun, I think it is.
Well, both.
Be fast because we don't think. Maybe we overthink. So about data privacy is a big thing. GDPR is a big thing. How can you address that?
Yeah, I think you're being hard on yourself. I think you're being hard on the German nation, because our facts show that actually Germany is leading the pack. It's leading the pack when it comes to adoption of this technology. But the reason it is because there are now clear guidelines on what needs to happen. So once it's clear, once you know that you only can use this technology for valid reasons such as safety, if you only can hold a certain amount of data, if you make sure your driver is aware of what you're doing, if you hold it in a secure location, in Frankfurt, for example, where our data center is held, then those are all ticks. And that is really, really important. So now those things are in place. That means now that companies such as Bridgestone and their customers are adopting this technology really fast, because we've overcome the major hurdles. Now, I'm not going to say that drivers aren't going to sit there with their arms crossed saying, you're going to be watching me like Big Brother. But as I said earlier on, this is not like CCTV. It only captures video when something bad happens. And that's the key point here. It's completely different to maybe some of the other technologies you see when you walk around the streets today.
And then it works for you, right? If it doesn't work for you, you're not have to give it away. You don't have to show it. Only if it benefits you, you give away the video to your insurance or to the police.
Exactly.
Right?
So, I mean, there are certain things. So I know a financial director in a company will say, I want this because I want to be able to give it to my insurance company to reduce my costs. A fleet manager may say, I want this because it's going to improve my productivity. But more and more now, we're seeing companies and drivers saying, I want this because it keeps me safer. And it's an investment in me. So it's not just, I don't have just training investment. I have this technology that coaches me every day in the moment and helps me be safer on the road. And that's really critical. And that's why Germany is adopting this. And that's why they're jumping on board, because they've got not the best record from safety. They've got high insurance costs. But I think now they've got these rules out of the way, I think they are leaning forward to be early adopters in this technology in Europe. And the facts are, we're seeing the numbers coming through.
Very, very interesting. The IAA is always about innovation. And obviously, the last question will be, what is to come? What will we see? What will be the next steps with video telematics? Where we will go from here?
Well, if you're talking feature function, and I know a lot of people like to talk about all the nice glitzy things you can do, well, with AI, it's going to be, and there's so many things I probably don't even know about yet that are going to appear in the next couple of years. Next time we talk, 2 years' time, there'll be a lot more feature functions. But the ability to identify, for example, stop signs or red lights, or the ability to warn when there's other distractions happening in the cab, or pedestrian identification, all of those things are starting to come into the market now, and they will become standard functionality very, very soon. So that's important. But I think one of the big things which I know a lot of people, a lot of legal people will shudder about, is the sharing of data. And when it comes to safety, everybody should share their data. There is no reason why data should not be shared between fleets around the world, if not just around Europe. Because if everybody's safer on the road, then your own fleet is safe.
True.
So what can you share? And I know there are companies, there are companies here today that are starting to talk about, how can I share my data with you, even though you're a competitor of mine? So for example, I went on stage recently with 2 global bus companies.
Right.
And they talked about how they would share data when it comes to safety. Now, they compete when it comes to passengers.
Right.
But from safety, nobody wants to have a collision. So that's a really big one. And the final thing is the ability to integrate. And there are so many fleets out there that have lots of technology. Nobody wants to get rid of all their technology and put a new load of technology in. So what we've been focusing on is the ability to have a very much open system, so that a Bridgestone customer, a Webfleet customer, can say, oh yeah, I would like to have video telematics now, and all they have to do is go click, and it happens. They don't need to bring in a new vendor, they don't need to ask anybody else to come along. And that cost of change is significant.
No.
When you've got lots of other things, lots of other priorities, such as EV and sustainability, etc., the last thing you want to do is have a massive cost of change of ripping out a system and putting a new system in. Our technology, coupled with your technology, is allows the customer literally to click a switch and you get it. And that's a big benefit, I think.
So in the future we see it will be even easier to use and even more reducing the risk, bringing more safety to the drivers. Yeah. And in the end, and I think that's the key sentence, making sure the driver gets home safe.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. There is no excuse now for not adopting this technology. There is plenty of rules in place about privacy now. So let's protect the driver's privacy, sure. But the most important thing is the safety of your driver. Because once you get the safe driver, then there's other things that they impact upon. Sustainability, maintenance, all of those sort of things. The driver is key to all of those things. Keep them safe, and you will benefit from everything else that we've talked about.
That's brilliant to hear from you. I will say now, come home safe. I say thank you that you've been here. Be a wonderful interview again. Und auch an Sie darf ich nochmal meine Worte richten und sagen, kommen Sie gut nach Hause. Sie sind wahrscheinlich schon hinterm Bildschirm, aber das war unsere Übertragung hier von der IAA, vom Webfleet Stand. Ich freue mich, dass Sie mit dabei waren und denken Sie dran, Mobility Talks gibt's immer. Einmal im Monat, am letzten Donnerstag sind wir mit den verschiedenen Themen wieder für Sie da und ich freue mich, wenn Sie beim nächsten Mal sich auch wieder reinklicken. Vielen Dank, dass Sie heute mit dabei waren, hier von der IAA. Kommen Sie gut nach Hause oder legen Sie sich wieder hin.